fantasy team from falling off the track. Football is back, Jack. Whether on the ground or through the air, when the chips are down and you throw a prayer, when your team is primed and on the hunt, it's 4th and 10, you refuse to punt. When the shoulder pads and helmets crack, that's how you know that football is back, Jack. Let me hear you say, football, football, football. Football is back, Jack. This high is wild and out of control, and we're gonna ride it every week till we reach the Super Bowl. Don't need no check downs. Give me big hits and quarterbacks. If you say this game's the best, I'll say it's a gag. Football is back, Jack. Football is back, Jack. Football is back. Football is back, Jack.
Zaslow legitimately came in here today with an observation that made me wonder, where have you been for 35 years? He comes in today and he's like, Michael Irvin is crazy, huh?
He had his own intro Saturday night.
And deserved it.
He came out the tunnel before the smoke. He came out the tunnel with everyone lined up. He gets his whole intro on the Jumbotron. He loves Hurricanes. And not just Hurricanes football. Because remember, what was it? I think when the Canes were in the NIT final like 7-8 years ago, nobody loves anything the way Michael Irvin loves the University of Miami.
Well, go ahead and put in the corner of the
last part.
screen the jump cut of Michael Irvin's just general behavior during the game, because everyone should have former NFL alums that care about the school the way this guy did. I do remember when he was with the champion Dallas Cowboys, Michael Irvin would call his old dorm room number, just knowing a football player would pick up, and start yelling at them about how they were supposed to be playing football. He didn't even care who it is that was answering it. He just wanted to scream at them.
Doing push-ups.
Yeah, of course. He's always doing push-ups. And that game was encouraging for a number of different reasons. But chief among them, to me, it has been a really long time since I saw a University of Miami football team that could survive its quarterback having a bad football game against a good defense or a great defense. That would have been done better before the show. Thank you. That's good. That's good to put that there now, though.
Dan,
It's video covering it. No one knew.
Video covering
It
it.
was
You don't
actually a
have to
good
do
job.
that. It was actually
Gentlemen,
phenomenal.
video team. Yeah.
Head on a swivel, pal.
One person did a bad chair, so you're pointing it out.
Yeah.
The Miami Hurricanes playing against the Florida Gators. I know there will be people who have their criticisms because that game shouldn't have been close. I really thought after the first half that you can make the observation, I could give Florida 1,000 plays and make the football field 5 yards long, and the Gators will not score a point in this football game, because it's not just that the Hurricane defense is violent. It's not even just that the Florida offense is awful, which it is. The thing that I'm seeing out of the Hurricane defense that I haven't seen in a good long time is the side-to-side speed that doesn't allow anybody to grab the corners on them, because they have a lot of speed on the field. So you saw the way that they can lose a football game this season, because Florida should not have been in any way in that football game. And I imagine, Mike, that you were yourself when you're up 13-7 and the Gators are, inside the 35-yard line in the fourth quarter, and mystified, I imagine, at how that game was close.
I'm not mystified. I thought that I was touting Florida's defense entering that game. I thought it would be tight early, and then Miami would pull away. And that's what happened. I was upset at the interception. First off, I thought Cormani McLean was excellent that game. I thought their corners were excellent on our receivers, but Cormani made a great play on that ball, and really wasn't so much the interception as to where the interception was. I'm like, that's probably the first time they crossed a 50. I know that they had just scored, but look, that was a total supreme domination. They were 0 for 13 on third downs. Pro Football Focus said that was the worst pass blocking performance in the history of Pro Football Focus by 24 points. The Miami Hurricanes defense is incredible right now. And say what you will on DJ Lagway, he does seem broken. He had 5 picks the previous week. All 5 picks that he had were entirely his fault. 4 of the 5, he had good protection. This is not a bad Florida Gator offensive line. In fact, if you watch the content that PFF puts out there, is like, we still understand this Florida Gators offensive line to be good. Top end in the nation type of good. That's all about Ruben Bain. That's all about Akeem Mesidor. Players that were here last year but looked different. These guys have slimmed down. In Ruben Bain's case, he is healthy. He had a bit of a sophomore slump last year, and this year, honestly, there isn't a more dominant player in the country right now in terms of winning your individual assignment, play in, play out. He deserves Heisman.
It was clear, given how he played his first year and how he's playing this year, that he was hurt last year, because that was not a regression. That was not a sophomore slump. That was somebody who didn't have his explosiveness, did not have his strength because he was hurt. And the Hurricanes have. I'm gonna say they've got at least 4 first-rounders that I can identify by sight. 2 of them on the offensive line. One of them not the center, who had, I believe, Brockemeyer had one of the worst games I've ever seen a center have. When do you ever notice the center?
Mike was so mad throughout the game
It's
at
amateur.
the center. He was so mad.
It's amateur, and the last 2 weeks, like, the opponent have found something on tape and being able to coax Miami into these procedural penalties. But I'm right there with Dan. Miami presently, I think, has 4 first-rounders. Markel Bell was never really talked about. He's like, if this guy meets his ceiling, he could
so
be
strong.
He's
bigger than
6'9".
everybody.
He was a transfer, came over last year, and this is a testament to the development. Now, look, that is a body type that most offensive line coaches would dream of working with, but he was not at a big-time football school. Football relatively new to the young man. 6'9", put out dominant tape. This guy put himself in top 20 draft pick consideration. You got CeCe Mauanoa, you got Ruben Bain, of course, and Carson Beck, who was coming off a pretty bad game for him. He was off all night. I will say,
how much did the rain, wet ball affect him?
You were out there.
Right?
He hasn't played in good weather yet this season.
No, he's played in a month-long monsoon.
That was terrible.
But I will say, like, there is a narrative online that, keep in mind, there's a young man that had a elbow surgery. There was a little less zip on some of those passes. I think that you could probably blame the weather a little bit, but I'm not too worried.
How does Michael Irvin have the energy?
I don't know.
I wonder.
Passion for the game?
Let's do the Hampton Farms Nuttiest fan, because
how are we going to beat this guy?
We've got some nominees. We've got Michael Irvin. There are a number of nominees locally. Chris Cody was very jealous of Mike Ryan this weekend because
that's an understatement.
Mike Ryan was tailgating with how many of the Panthers, the 2-time champion Panthers? Paul Maurice is going to join us here, champion coach, at some point during the show. Mike, how many of the Panthers were you tailgating with?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
More than 5?
Six players. 6 players and a couple of the staff. They were great.
I should have been there. It's my wife's fault. We don't have to get into that. No, I don't want to.
Why bring it up?
Chris did get an invite.
I got an invite. I should have been there, and I had plans.
What'd your wife do?
We had plans for months with friends. It was a fun time I had, but I hated life. I saw pictures coming in, and I hate life. And those are Nutty fans. They were having fun. Every video and picture I saw made me want to be there. But let's get to more nominees. It's the Nuttiest Fan, brought to you by Hampton Farms, the official snack nut of the tailgate. Vote for your favorite Nutty fan at LeBatardShow on Instagram. And keep an eye out for Lucy at Arkansas if you think you're your team's Nuttiest fan.
Well, who are the nominees? We've got Michael Irvin. It's going to be hard to beat Michael Irvin.
We got Mike and his crew partying with the Panthers. I just have to nominate them because of how jealous I am. And then we have 2 signs from game day. We have a Jonathan Zaslow special, which is
Thai food. Look at that guy.
Okay, so what happened there, Zaslow? You were doing part of your campus tour not on campus. You were doing, what are you laughing about, Cody?
that somebody would hold a Thai food sign.
Well, they want to be part of the trend, the worldwide trend.
Food.
Now, granted, that does look like one of those signs that you can like keep erasing and updating for people.
It's a
I'll
whiteboard.
bet that was never erased, though. You do that in permanent marker.
Those are the college game day signs. They hand those out.
Okay.
So they're
All right, my
sponsored by the Home Depot. Yeah.
You
He's
gotta-
going to have that for life, that guy.
You got to elongate the word Thai, though, don't you? It has to be T-H-A-A-I.
Could have been written better.
Yeah, minimal effort on actually writing the Thai food sign.
Don't
but once,
criticize that great fan. Thai food.
That cannot win this competition just because he held up a sign.
Sure it can.
Wearing.
It's up to the voters.
None of those can win yet.
Voter suppression.
No,
signs.
Michael
gonna win.
Irvin. How about that one?
And
Bangkong Pinga.
Yeah, and then we have this one. You guys are going to have to help me out with this one.
It says Bangkong Pinga y se acabó el pan, which means bread with dick, and we're all out of bread.
That's right. That's what you're getting.
That's the winner.
Dick sandwich.
I go Michael Irvin.
That's a repeat from the
Yeah,
last time
that's
game day was here, though, if we're going to be honest.
Yeah, that's a great callback. That's nostalgic.
I mean, that should be on repeat forever.
Dick with bread.
I want to
No
talk,
more bread.
though, about what it is that the Hurricanes are, because I would not object too much to anyone who said right now that they don't have a quality win, although I expect Notre Dame to be number one in the next rankings. They got snubbed in these, but I expect them next week to be number one when they climb to 2-2. But here's Greg Cody writing in the Miami Herald, the Canes team I've seen the first third of this season is the best all-around team I've seen since the glory days, the championship era. This team will make the playoffs, and with a huge chance to do major damage in them, this team, yes, I'm saying it, has what it takes to win UM's long elusive. Is it that elusive? Long elusive sixth national title, the first since 2001. It's crazy that Miami can say that they've got 5 titles and a chance at a sixth, but this team does look complete because of what I was saying at the beginning. If you told me all coaches since Coker were playing against a great defense, because that Florida defense is a championship caliber defense.
Yeah.
And their quarterback had a bad game, they would not have been able to drag a team the way that they dragged Florida. Because I know that the game felt close, because it was in the fourth quarter. It was 13-7. There was a terrible whistle on one play. But I was legitimately confused at how that game was just 13-0 at the half. And I was legitimately confused that it was close in the second half, because I really did think that the Florida Gators would do nothing offensively all game, because that first half that I saw from the Florida Gators was sheer incompetence on offense, and they might be bad on offense. Mike is saying their offensive line is grading out well, but I did feel that was done to them by not just a fast defense, but a violent defense. Like these are hits being put on people that I did not see. I'm going to say there were more violent hits in that game. And again, when an offense is that constipated and lacking confidence, you can do it to them. But more violent hits in that game than I saw from the Hurricanes all last season when they couldn't play defense.
They had 32 yards of offense in that first half. I don't think they had a positive play until like their 5th play. So many 3-and-outs over there.
I don't think they picked up their second, first down until late in the third quarter.
Yeah, it was the second half for sure.
I think Mario Cristobal deserves a lot of credit for fixing that defense. That was honestly last year the worst defense I had ever seen wear Miami uniforms, and they wasted a championship-level offense. In previous years, I think Miami gets away from the run game and keeps trying to make the passing game. Hell, last year, I think they probably get more enamored with the idea of trying to get Cam Ward a Heisman. This is a really good Miami team. I know it was tighter, but we've been on the receiving end of those. We've been up against elite Florida teams, elite FSU teams, an elite Clemson team where Miami's defense puts up the effort and then the offense goes nowhere, and then by the end of the fourth quarter, you're down 21 points. The spread in points was not that much different than last year's game. Dan is right when he says there was a bad whistle. The officials themselves went up to Mario Cristobal, explained we shouldn't have blown that play dead.
What was their
that was
explanation? That they
terrible.
didn't see the ball?
So there's a couple
call.
of narratives online. Samson Okunlola's, who's developed quite nicely, by the way, his helmet came off during that play,
Right.
but he was not the ball carrier. In college football, if it has nothing to do with the play can roll on. The referees told Mario Cristobal, look, we just missed that call. Marty Brown did not stop moving. And if that game is 20-0 and you get Florida in a predictable passing situation, that game gets really ugly.
I was very frustrated that they were only up 13-0 because I thought they could just keep handing the ball to Fletcher and moving the pile to make instead of they had so many punts at the end of the first half where they had the ball starting at the 50-yard line and they end up going backwards.
That was a really quiet 116-yard game from Mark Fletcher. And I think it was quiet because more than half of those yards came as part of a pile that was just moving, physically manhandling a Power 4 program in Florida that has good line play along the trenches. They've improved over last year.
But to be fair, they had 3 guys out. Okay,
did.
3 starters along the defensive line out.
Very impressed with Florida's corners. There was not a lot of separation.
There wasn't.
Which is probably an argument to get JoJo Trader and Josh Moore a little bit more involved in the offense, and hopefully they can rise to the occasion because Miami does need a little bit more separation there. But there were some check down options available to Carson Beck. I kind of like that he was deep shot hunting. Something happened in that USF game where he realized I like my chances downfield. There were open check downs, and sometimes Carson just missed either low or a high, or in our tight end's case, they weren't ready for the ball at all.
He was bad.
He was bad.
Carson Beck was bad in that game.
His accuracy was way off.
Yeah, I think he's afforded a bad game there. Usually, if your quarterback plays like that in a game like this, that's the recipe for the team pulling off an upset. And instead, we see a team kind of stay in, hang around, and you saw Miami step on that throat and salt the game away. They had a huge play by Marty Brown that was big for Carson Beck, that one-handed catch there. That's the stuff that breaks away for good championship teams. I came away very happy because that's kind of the game that I thought would happen, and Miami got tested in there and doesn't have to be victims of a rat poison for 2 weeks as they head into this FSU game.
Well, this is the kind of game we've all seen Miami lose in the past, where you have a lead, you seem to be in control, then all of a sudden it's 13-7. The lead has whittled. Momentum has shifted a little bit. Again, in the second half, there was a time when it seemed like Florida was still in the game. Instead of losing that game, like they have so many times in the past, they rose up. And I can say nothing bad about this team right now. They deserve to be number 2 in the country behind Ohio State or Penn State, whoever you think. But I tell you what, last year they had a bad pass defense. They solved it. Last year they were imbalanced because, like you say, they wanted the Heisman for Cam Ward. This year, not just Fletcher, Marty Brown has been great. Malaki has been great. Malachi, sorry.
You mentioned the 2 running backs. I would argue Jordan Lyle is our best running back. He turned his ankle early against Notre Dame. We've been holding him out. He's going to have to bye. He'll be ready for FSU. Those are 2 of Miami's best 3 running backs. You can make a strong argument that Jordan Lyle is actually RB1.
Fantastic team. Okay, I'm the homer. I get it. I'm the homer in the room.
you are.
But in this case, I can't praise Miami enough. I think they're an airtight
Are we sure it's not Milwaukee?
Malachi is a biblical name.
It is Malachi.
It
I
should be
misspoke.
Malachi.
Yeah. I apologize for misspeaking.
It's okay.
No, apparently it
Doesn't
isn't because
seem to be.
everybody's laughing.
Yeah,
but that's
everybody's
okay.
mocking
I'm
them.
used to that.
I mean, Malachi's funny.
Greg, I hope you know I was an ally. I corrected you quickly, and I moved on to the running backs. For them to stay here is really disrespectful to a legend like you.
I'm used to it.
Yeah.
Let's make it a running joke. Let's say Malaki and replay it and just make fun of that one thing the whole show. That would be
He hasn't
customary.
been the same since he lost that soup competition.
Well, that was rigged.
Yes. Thank you, Billy.
You're welcome.
It was barely coconut in it. And it was a conscious decision. I'm going to beat this guy
No
without
ginger.
that much.
No ginger either.
What do you mean no ginger? There was so much ginger in that.
Okay.
I don't care what was in it. It tasted good.
Okay.
Mike ordered it from HelloFresh. Chris told us the next day.
So I've seen this theory out there, and you can follow recipes, but where's the red bell peppers in that recipe? Where is the garlic? Where are the shallots? Where's the over amount of the generous serving of ginger? Yeah, there was sweet coconut milk in that. I've seen these theories out there online. What I made was totally different. The internet needs to shut the hell up.
I thought that the college football weekend was more fun than the pro football weekend, even though the witching witching hour
Thank
did.
you.
Yes, the witching hour did cover up some blemishes because there really were only 5 games worth talking about yesterday in the pros. Like, go ahead and see if you can name them because it's not going to be easy for you. I thought the college football weekend was a lot of fun, and I'd like to spend more time on college football than pro football today just because of how much I enjoyed the college football weekend. I'm sorry to all of you who had Auburn plus 6.5 in that Oklahoma game and got buried by a safety at the end. I wanted to talk about a handful of things, though, from yesterday. What were the games worth talking about? Because the Philadelphia Rams game was interesting from a number of different perspectives. The Eagles being down 26-7. I've always thought of Jalen Hurts as a bit of a front runner on that team, right? I see them getting ahead and then staying ahead, and they've won 19 out of 20. They're deserving defending champions. And beating that Rams team is an achievement when you are down 26-7, and they have recreated. I have to apologize. I said last week that St. Brown to Goff is the best combination in the sport that has the best timing between quarterback and receiver. I am wrong about that. It is Stafford and Nakua, because at the end of that game, they were doing that they did with Cooper Kupp in the Super Bowl with no-look passes where everyone knew the ball was going to Nakua and Stafford was still going down the field throwing it to only Nakua. Get the Nakua song here. I'd like to play some of the Nakua song. But what ends up happening at the end of that game where you have the heaviest man ever to return a blocked field goal more than 50 yards. You had Jiggle running down the field on a day that had a lot of blocked kicks. I know a lot of people will look at that and say that that's what won the game, but this is what won that game. The Rams got stopped on 4th and 1, and that never happens to the Eagles. Like, that happens to so many teams, and it never happens to the Eagles because they've got that play that everyone...
Because they cheat. And they got caught cheating again yesterday.
They should have. No, they didn't get caught. They didn't get caught cheating.
They got caught by the masses.
They got away with cheating because they don't get caught whenever they false start on that play.
His quarterback is not named Tua.
That was the game that everybody was talking about yesterday. The Cleveland Packers game is a bit inexplicable. We'll have to talk about it, although I don't want to. It was not a game worth watching. Cleveland ruins football. Like, they play, their defense is great. I'm just so tired of these half teams. The Gators, the Browns, teams that can only do one thing, and you're out there watching, and of course it's going to be 13-10 at the end. But that was the surprise of the day. Go ahead and name all the other games, though, that you would want to talk about.
Chargers and Broncos. Chargers are 3-0, and it's all in the division. Like, that. I know we talk about the Colts. Colts are the best story. Chargers might be the best story in the league right now.
Justin Herbert's been absolutely great.
Good thing we took Tua.
Yeah, the Colts seem legit. That is, if you're a fraud
Daniel
team,
Jones might be legit, too.
Dude, if you're a fraud team, you roll in a Nissan Stadium feeling yourself, and you get all of a sudden dragged into like a tough divisional game. They were just wire-to-wire dominant.
The Colts, I saw during the second quarter. Did you guys see this? During the second quarter of yesterday's game was the first time they punted.
That's nuts.
All season. Like they had no team had ever done that. 19 straight drives to start a season. No punts, and then they put up 40 on the Titans.
Easily.
I think that I'm very curious to see how Tampa Bay and Philadelphia goes because Rams kind of built to beat the Eagles, and they had the exact situation which you salt that game away. And I was very surprised at the Eagles' ability to come back in that game. I know exactly what they do when they have a lead, but what do they do when they're a couple scores out? They were really impressive. Jordan Davis showed exactly why he got Heisman chatter as a defensive player at Georgia. That is a big man, and that was a very back-breaking return for a touchdown that ruined a big-time SGP for your boy. I had Auburn, and I had the Rams this past weekend.
That's hard times, Dan.
It's hard times.
I thought Philly coming back like that was the game of the week, mainly because I had picked the Eagles to win. But the game of the week is tonight. I mean, Lions at Ravens is a dream. Jared Goff and Lamar Jackson combined for 9 touchdown passes last week, and there's going to be even as many tonight, I think. It's going to be a nutty game. I don't care what the over-under is. It's going to be 60-plus points tonight.
I'm not going to mince words when I say this, so I don't want anyone to be confused. Chiefs stink. That team stinks.
The offense, certainly.
They
constipated
stink.
offense. It was tough to watch. That first half was tough to watch.
You mentioned Jordan Davis, though. That's a pretty firm 336 pounds. You would agree, right? We all love seeing a big man run down the field, but usually we like it to jiggle more than that. We don't like if that were running at you or towards you or even chasing you. That had more musculature on it than I'm used to seeing on a 336-pound person. He wasn't like that. Seemed relatively as fit as 336 pounds can be, and I would say that that's about as good a feeling as you can have in that sport, both blocking the kick and then returning it 50 yards in your home stadium with the ball when you're never supposed to have the ball at that side.
I'm picturing the coaches being like, "Get down! Get down!"
Yes, but the reason I will not say that was the best feeling you can have is because Isaiah Rodgers exists on the Minnesota Vikings. And so he has an 80-yard interception return. He has a 69-yard touchdown fumble caused, and he recovered it, and he ran the 69 yards with it, and he caused another fumble in that game. And I told you that even though the Bengals were 2-0, that their season is over. And I also told you, Greg, that you got inflated on the Atlanta Falcons just because they won at Minnesota when Minnesota had a quarterback who doesn't know how to play football yet in the pros, and they replaced him with Carson Wentz, and then all of a sudden they put up 40 points because Isaiah Rodgers exists.
Yeah, and now Wentz has the start until otherwise notified. You're right. I mean, I inflated Atlanta based on that one result, and in the NFL, it's easy to do that because, Carolina looked like bleep, and then they win 30-0. I mean, it's very difficult, this league. There's parity all over the league. The worst team in the league can play the best team.
The Browns won. It's the
Browns,
Packers.
right. I mean, it's very difficult. There's 5, what are there now, 3-0 teams? 5 or 6? There's a lot of 3-0 teams. Some of them are going to end up 9-8. I mean, things happen in this league.
6 of them. 6.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Let me give you these Daniel Jones Colts stats. They've now scored 103 points in their first 3 games. No Colts team has ever done that. None of the Peyton Manning teams did. The 2025 Colts and 2007 Patriots. Is that the undefeated Patriots of Randy Moss? The 2007 Patriots are the only teams in the Super Bowl era to start 3-0 while punting fewer than 5 times. And now the Colts have scored on 77% of their possessions, the most of any team after 3 games in 45 years. To your Patrick Mahomes Chiefs point, during one era here, the era that we remember of the Chiefs, they were scoring on between like 35 and 37% of their possessions. It's now 4%. It's 4%. You don't even want to watch the Chiefs. And last night, Andy Reid's had enough of the Kelsey stuff.
Yeah,
he gave him a shoulder. Like that was the rare incident where the coach goes looking for the physical contact and the tight end didn't want any of it. Like I saw the headlines that said Kelsey involved in another kerfuffle, and I'm like, man, Kelsey didn't want any parts of Andy Reid. Andy Reid went looking for the physical contact.
They have done that
there.
a bunch.
They've gone at each other. This is like at least the 3rd time I've seen them go at each other on the sideline like that. This is the first time I've seen Andy Reid initiate physical contact.
Well, yeah, because Travis Kelce is a non-factor now. Like Travis Kelce can't fight back when you don't do anything every single game. Andy Reid's he's tired of him. Hey, you suck now. Do something.
Travis Kelce's turned into an average tight end, which is one of the many
not even average.
One of the many offensive problems they have. That the Chiefs have turned into the Gators of the NFL. And the thing that I loved about the Travis Kelce Reid thing is that, man, we love the heated exchange on the sideline. As soon as that happened, and you see it on TV, I'm like, okay, we're going to be talking about that tomorrow. That's in all the headlines. We're going to make a big deal out of this because we do that.
Kind of like when you get mad around here. We love it.
Look, it's a violent game. There's a dozen heated exchanges on a sideline every game that aren't televised, that we don't see. It's a violent game. Things happen, but we love the heated exchange.
It's rare, though, that the coach goes looking for the contact. And if Kelsey had done that to Reid, it would have been a bigger deal. I want to ask the
It's honestly inappropriate. A person in a position of power going and causing physical altercations with his subservience is something that the league should look into.
Well, they should take it up with HR for sure.
That's
the Chiefs
for sure.
should take it to Human Resources.
Yeah.
When does though a argument rise to the level officially of heated? what needs to happen for it to be an exchange that is heated?
Like the minimum.
The minimum.
I think one bump, any bump, is heated.
I think the heated exchange needs to result in something happening on the field. In other words, if Tyreek Hill and Mike McDaniel are going at it, and then later in that game, Tyreek Hill refuses to re-enter the game even though he's not hurt, then I think that exchange that may have led to that is newsworthy.
When the finger makes an appearance, when there's a point.
This is the way you play the game, Greg. I don't know what you're
doing. The semantics of heated, Dad.
I don't know what you just did there. That he was looking for the minimum bar for entry on heated, and you gave us Tyreek Hill not coming into a game.
Yeah, because that after a heated exchange, that's when it becomes newsworthy.
If you're sitting and then you're forced to stand up and argue, that's when it becomes.
I don't think
heated.
my dad knows how we're playing this game.
Yeah, Greg, do you understand?
They're playing fantasy land.
understand.
You're giving real life examples that are helpful.
I answered it the way I answered it.
Yeah.
Yes, you did, Greg. That's not up
You
for
said what you
dispute.
said.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's true. You
right.
did answer it the way that you
Can't
answered.
argue with that.
There's no arguing with it.
Thank you.
Can we argue with the way that your father pronounces Malachi?
Here we go. Malachi. Here we go. Malachi. Okay, that's 2. I'm going to keep track. Give me that pen. I'm going to keep track of how many times during the show that airs. Okay, Malachi 3 so far. Okay.
To be fair,
The over-under is 7.5 on DraftKings.
It would be best to use tallies, I think, for this one, Greg. You're going to have to keep scratching out the numbers.
Yeah, you're right. I'm like a prisoner. I'm writing off the days. Here we go.
so minimum barrier for entry on how an exchange
Let's
gets
try it again.
to heated. Roy offered a good example. If someone goes from sitting down to standing up, we're coming dangerously close to heated. Zaslow is right when he's saying if there's a finger being wagged or pointed.
Okay. Those are the obvious answers. You want an obvious answer from me?
You were going off the board.
You want an obvious answer from me when it comes to a shove, okay? There's physical contact.
I said that already,
Somebody
physical
shoves
contact.
somebody. Those are all obvious answers. Mine is extrapolation, okay? I'm saying what really matters is if that physical exchange, that heated exchange, shows an effect in the game. That's all that matters. Because otherwise, it's one of a million heated exchanges. Everybody the next day, predictably, is going to say, oh, it's no big deal. I'm downplaying that. No big deal, which is exactly what Reed did.
But contact goes beyond heated, don't you think?
No, not in the football context. Hell no.
You don't think? Well, we've gone when there's contact, you've gone from heated to assault. You're in the region of assault. Like we were looking for just heated, just something that's getting hot.
Well, Andy took it to assault, not Greg. Like, Andy's the one that made contact.
Agreed.
And by the way, I think the question that we're not asking that we all should be asking is, how's this going to impact the relationship between Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce? Because if we remember correctly, Taylor Swift's family has known Andy Reid for some time, much longer than she has known Travis Kelce. Her father used to know Andy Reid. So now we have a situation where family friends are beefing with fiancés. And I don't know whose side you take in this and where the family is going to stand in this situation and if this is something that the relationship can even survive.
I agree with that. And did Andy Reid just lose his invitation to the wedding? I think that's
if there is
reasonable.
still one.
Yeah. That's fair. Yeah, it's a big controversy nobody's talking about.
Off the top of your head, can you guys recall, just thinking out loud here because it's not something I've given any thought to, can you guys recall confrontations between a coach and a non-quarterback that are always happening? Because Kelce's level of stardom absolutely has something to do with this. Usually
every coach in Antonio Brown.
Usually the non-quarterbacks on the sidelines do not get into it repeatedly with the coach. They're not allowed to get into it with the head coach. And you saw what happened to Antonio Brown when he was doing it. They got rid of him. You cannot keep having those with the coach, but you certainly can't keep having those with the coach if you're a non-quarterback and you're not producing, because Kelce's old now. There are a lot of miles on that body. It didn't even make sense that Kelce was putting up the numbers that he was the last couple of years with the amount of mileage on that body. But generally speaking, a coach, especially a Super Bowl winning coach, you're not allowed to get in those kinds of arguments with him if you're not Tom Brady.
Yeah, you have to be a player of stature. There's no question about that. You're never going to see the second team guard.
Well, I've never seen a tight end do it, is what I'm saying. I'm saying the tight end never has a level of fame that he's allowed to do any of that any of that can go to his head where he's always arguing with his head coach in public.
I feel like it happened with Keyshawn, and then Gruden threw him off the team.
Yeah. Wide receivers, it does happen. DeAndre Hopkins, Bill O'Brien had one. I think Richard Sherman had one before. I remember old NFL films footage of this happening to Parcells a couple of times. It didn't happen once with LT.
Kevin Green got into a fight with his linebacker coach.
Kevin Green.
You guys think that Dan Quinn should have gone into the concussion protocol? He had a bloody nose. He was knocked down by Marcus Mariota. Marcus Mariota hit him on the sideline. And this, are you guys always surprised the way that normal-sized human beings go flying when they're hit by players on the sideline? Normal-sized human beings go and they skid across the floor like it's a John Wick movie. They're like they're being pulled by a rope when they get hit by these guys. And that's Mariota. That's not it's not Jordan Davis.
I don't understand how someone can watch Jordan Davis do what he did and think that this game should be legal. That person has an unfair physical advantage. It's like watching Markel Bell at 6'9" moving a pile. It's just like
I wanted to ask you about since we were talking about Bell. He's bigger than Bryant McKinney, correct? Like he looks bigger than everybody who's on the field with him.
So I haven't seen them stand next to one another, but McKinney is one of the biggest human beings that ever. You worked with Bryant McKinney, right? Like it's not just a height thing. It is a shoulder thing with Bryant McKinney. Like he walks near you, the sun goes away. Markel Bell doesn't exactly quite have that. He's very tall. He's the first guy off the bus energy for sure. But Bryant McKinney just like a filled out human being is bigger.
I had McKinney on my show this week, and it was like looking in a mirror.
He has a soda drinker's body in retirement. I remember when Dwight Freeney came to the Orange Bowl. I'm pretty sure Bryant McKinney never allowed a sack at the University of Miami, not even in practice. I'm pretty sure that stat is correct. That
Practice how you play.
But Dwight Freeney came into town as a first-round pick from Syracuse, and it was amazing seeing the size difference between them. And Freeney was trying to use his speed and kept getting stuck in McKinney's navel. McKinney just kept putting his arms out to here without holding him, and McKinney would just engulf Dwight Freeney.
But now we have another one of those. We have two of those at tackle now. 2 first-rounders. Man, I had Saturday pretty close to being, if that Marty Brown touchdown holds up, that's probably the greatest day of my life.
A tailgate.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
What happened there? How you feeling about that?
Why'd you get all weird about that?
What happened?
Why'd you look to your right mid-sentence?
Because the mic did not pick up when I started that. The mic was not on when I said this episode, and it threw me off.
It was.
It was.
on.
Don't worry about it. Everybody heard you.
Because sometimes you get a countdown and it'll throw you
Okay,
off.
all
Don't
right.
worry about it.
It threw me off.
You did great. I don't know why so many people are piling on
insane.
you. You nailed that Bills-Dolphins game.
Thank you very much, Mike. I should be used to it by now, but I'm not quite. It's okay. I'll get over it.
The Patriots had 5 turnovers yesterday. I saw something that I don't often see in that game. Mike Vrabel, not late in the game, not in a desperate situation, 4th and 1 from his own 16-yard line went for it. 4th and 1 from his own 16. I still can't get used to some of this stuff. I know all of these coaches have gone crazy now when it comes to 4th and short. Most coaches, college and pro, now know that they were doing the math all wrong for, I don't know, a century before that. And now they all go for it. But
4th and 1 from the 16 is still nervous.
Well, he's a crazy person. He said he was going to cut off his pecker. Like, the guy's insane.
He's since walked that back.
Well, he was the Titans coach back then. He said if they want, he would cut off his pecker in order to win a Super Bowl. And now with the Patriots, they had 5 turnovers yesterday. Aaron Rodgers ends up winning and going to 2-1, but the Steelers' offense didn't look particularly good. The Patriots were 4 for 4 on 4th down in that game right till the end when they needed the last 4th down conversion and did not get it. That's one of the 5 games I would mention is worth talking about yesterday. I reluctantly will throw Jacksonville and Houston in there. Houston is the lowest scoring offense in the sport. How crazy is that?
C.J. Stroud sucks, huh?
Get that team off televisions everywhere. I cannot watch this team. They are so unpleasant. I get angry watching them because I do believe them to have talent, And maybe I should forget what C.J. Stroud did as a rookie.
We were all on his tip. He's not that good. Whoa.
That's a breakdown you're not getting on Get Up. Yeah.
He's talking about a pecker.
Getting up?
Whoa.
I mean, they have some talent, right? That's a bad
The
organization.
Jags were
man.
trying to lose that game. They had 5 drops in the game. The Jags do everything wrong at the end of games. Everything.
I saw that game on the schedule. I was like, no, don't do this to us. They play twice.
Were you actually looking at the rundown
I was so
for
mad.
week 3 and you come up with Houston and
So
Jack's
mad.
like, no.
Why is this game? This game is an affront to football. Get this off. Just skip it. The next time they're scheduled to play, find 2 other teams to play. It's just bad.
It's a battle of stinky quarterbacks.
I hate them.
Another half a team. Good defense, no offense.
How do you guys feel in general about the limits on offense all over the sport? All over the sport that you have every quarterback throwing for 160 yards.
Well, I mean, is Houston going up against a great defense every game? That can't possibly be it. I saw Tyrod Taylor move the ball against Tampa Bay, which, by the way, good team.
Let's talk for a second about how Aaron Glenn feels about that wonderful celebration after Baker Mayfield produced not 1 but 2 game-winning drives in that game. 2 game-winning drives in that game. Baker Mayfield now has 4 game-winning drives this season, and they've only played 3 games.
That throw to Ibuka and the catch. Ibuka is coming to the league. He's wide receiver 1. Like,
he is so good.
He's so amazing. That game was so great. And by the way, as aesthetically pleasing a game as you could see, those white creamsicle uniforms at home, it just
Those are
looks
nice
a little
uniforms.
different. And
Those are
Baker,
nice.
what is more valuable to a football team if you're not putting up your best effort? Because we have not seen a complete game from Tampa Bay this year. They've been in tough betting spots. What more do you want as a special trait from your quarterback than to do that? What is more valuable than in the final minute, I know this guy's going to do it, perhaps multiple times?
They're injured, and not only did they do it multiple times at the end of that game, you're mentioning Ibuka, but Mike Evans was out. Like, he got injured, and so it's not just that both his tackles are out. Now Mike Evans, his Hall of Fame receiver, is out, and still 2 game-winning drives against the Jets.
Wasn't it just last week you were talking about Baker Mayfield, that he's one of the 3 or 4 quarterbacks who, if they have the ball late in the game, we think they're going to score.
We all knew how it was going to happen. You saw how much time was on the clock while Aaron Glenn is dancing, and you're like, don't do this. Don't do this. Baker's got to find a way, and he always finds a way. But Ibuka is that dude is a great player. And while Mike Evans is off, there's talk that Chris Godwin, who's another one of the great players to watch in this league, so fun to watch. Godwin's coming back, so hopefully there isn't that much of a drop-off because they have Philadelphia next, and there has been a thorn in Philadelphia's side over these last few seasons. Remember, Philadelphia had to reshape their entire offense the last time they played Tampa because they got blown out.
When I say Baker Mayfield league MVP, I'm not even kidding. I mean, it used to be words that would be ridiculous in the same sentence, but the way he's winning games,
It's not ridiculous right now.
he just has that ability. I mean, Daniel Jones, Justin Herbert, who are the MVPs right now? I can make an argument for Baker being number 1 on the list at this point.
And it's not like system plays. It's not. It is very much individual efforts.
He makes plays.
He makes stuff happen. He becomes Steve Young in certain moments when they need plays with his legs. And that throw that he made to Ibuka, not many people can do that on this planet.
I know that a lot of analysis excludes what I'm about to say, which is one of the reasons that the football got worse in week 3 here is because people aren't as fresh. They haven't had months off anymore. Now they're going week to week again. Some of the quarterbacks are out. And so your ability to win games when your team is injured, Baker Mayfield is without his tackles. They're winning games against teams that have pass rush. And when we're talking about this and you guys are saying Baker Mayfield for MVP, and I'm hearing then, unless you say Daniel Jones, imagine that conversation
What a sentence.
2.5 years
Well,
ago.
Baker was in the MVP conversation like halfway through last season also. He had a great last season also.
No, I think we're here on Baker Mayfield where we've decided this guy is an upper echelon. You can win a championship with Baker Mayfield. There's no more question.
Right,
But
like Baker Mayfield like this is Baker Mayfield when maybe there's still some, well, not maybe, there are probably still some questions about Daniel Jones. We are here with Baker Mayfield.
But Baker can also lose you a championship, which is why he doesn't win the MVP. Because like Baker is capable of blowing you some games also, which is what always ends up happening at some point in the season, and then he takes himself out of the MVP conversation.
I just love that he's fearless and that everyone sort of has to backpedal when he's got the ball at the end of games.
Aaron Glenn was confident.
That was so silly.
Is he not like, I'm on my couch being like, there's a lot of time
Why,
left.
does he not know that he's coaching the Jets? Like, you're not going to transcend the Jets.
It's like walking to like Greg Cody in the music
I
video
know.
to the couch.
It did look like me.
There's two things. There's two acts of God here. You're the Jets, and that's Baker Mayfield with time.
They're 0-3.
Why are you dancing? You gotta know that's not gonna age well. That is a rookie head coach.
Let me explain to you that Chris Cody, do you know how odd and sort of earth-shaking it is for the Jets to get a lead late and send Chris Cody, who I know to be allergic to books and research, sent him immediately to the internet to wonder whether or not yesterday was a historic day for blocked kicks.
I was like, there are a lot of missed blocks and misses. I'm like, there's a lot of misses today. Let me do the numbers. I'm going to crank the numbers out. I'm going to go to every game log, see all the kicking stats. And I learned based off the average, it was just a slightly below average day.
How much time did you spend
Say a
doing
good
that?
14 to 17 minutes of going through game logs, doing all the math of all the field goal percentages.
What is that? Like, what exactly did you do in terms of like you did
every
the math
game?
and the numbers
I went and looked at
and
the
all that?
kickers' field goals in every game. So like I have it in my phone actually. Where again, this game they were 4 of 7. The kickers were in this game they were 3 for 4. And there was only 3 games yesterday where the kickers were perfect. There were misses in every other game. Some games had like 4 misses. It ended up being around 75% yesterday field goal kickers, while the average is slightly above 80.
But blocked kicks returned for touchdowns had to have been historic.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't look up that specific one. It was more just misses in general.
That's the one that I'm most interested in.
Yeah, that would have been a good one to
But
look
it just,
up.
in my mind, I was just like, every game I'm watching, that field goal
But the
missed,
weird
that
part
field goal
was
missed.
the returns.
Yeah.
It was also,
And
in
blocks.
my mind,
Yeah.
the misses.
And they turned like potentially losses to wins. They were
Wins
huge.
to losses.
The witching
losses
hour.
to
That's what the
wins.
witching hour does. It delivers.
Classic witching hour. By the way, the Dolphins are favored over the Jets on Monday Night Football.
One of
next
the
week.
How about that?
all-time sad Monday night games we have a week from tonight.
$27 gets you in right now.
0-3.
Monday Night Football.
0-3 Jets.
I'll be
at
there.
0-3 Dolphins.
Unfortunately.
Scott Hansen actually said yesterday that Colts-Titans game was the game between the most accurate kickers in the league, and as soon as he said it, they missed 3 consecutive kicks. 3 consecutive field goals got missed. Also, in the Cleveland game, you could have also had one returned, a blocked kick returned for a touchdown, except it took like a funny bounce. Otherwise, that would have happened there too. To have the fact that during the witching hour you had 2 blocked field goals returned for touchdowns is what made the witching hour erase a truly dreadful day of professional football.
Dan, I have indeed opened up the Game Time app to see ticket prices. I can get in that door for $28, fees included. That is fees included. There are about a dozen tickets right now that I'm looking at this app that are under $35 all in, fees included. That's taking the guesswork out of buying tickets, people. Download the Game Time app if you want to go to this terrible NFL game on Monday night between the
What a
Jets and the
sell.
Dolphins for an unbelievably low price. Why? Because that is what Game Time does. It's the absolute best in the market, and if for whatever reason you find a better price out there, Game Time will match 110% of that price. Use the code Dan for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Swipe, tap, ticket, go.
I might go.
2 bad teams could be an exciting game.
I might go. By
By the
Billy's
way,
right.
also the return this week of 9:30 a.m. football.
Yeah.
Dublin, Ireland.
Are the Vikings doing
Vikings
back-to-back in
Steelers.
Europe? I think
they are.
They're doing
Let's see.
Dublin and then London. Kevin O'Connell, good coach.
I want to talk about some college football here, and I'd like to know from the group here what you guys believe to be the biggest story from the weekend. The first thing I'm going to do here is play some old Dabo Swinney sound, not just the sound from last week, but the famous sound from last year where he was taking calls from a sports radio station, and he got mad at some caller
The Dabo Swinney Show.
named Tyler.
I started as the lowest paid coach in this freaking business, and I'm where I am because I've worked my ass off every single day. And I ain't gonna let some smart-ass kid get on this phone and create this stuff. So if you got a problem with that, I don't care. I work for the Board of Trustees, the President, and the AD. And if they're tired of me leading this program, all they got to do is let me know. I'll go somewhere else where there is an appreciation. Am I perfect? No.
He wants to be fired.
And I am a man of faith. Absolutely. I'm 53 years old. And there ain't one thing in my life. I've been a part of failure many times, but there ain't one thing in my life that I ever failed at, Tyler. Never. Right? I wanted to get an education. I got 2 degrees. I wanted to be the first college in my graduate with my family. I did it. I wanted to play football in Alabama. I earned a scholarship for every 3 years. Worked my ass off. Won a national championship. I wanted to get into coaching. I worked my way to being a head coach. And when I got this job, and I'm sure you didn't want me to get this job, 15 years later, I'm still here, and I say the results are what they are, and I stand on them. So you don't ever have to call back, Tyler.
Wow. Braggart.
Well, he's pretty arrogant. I also imagine that whenever he argues with his wife, he also gives his age and asks her to fire him. Like,
This is becoming a move.
You can get a divorce if you want.
Look, I'm 53 years old. Okay, I got plenty of time.
You can take half my stuff.
The buyout's only going down.
let's play the sound from last week, because I suspect after losing to Syracuse, we will get some of that arrogance deflated right out of him in tone, temper, and tenor. But let's play the sound from last week of Dabo Swinney also being hugely arrogant while he's
to buy you time,
people.
I can provide the framework for the audience that I guarantee you he will invoke. He can be fired at any time, and that he's still got plenty of time to get fired and go somewhere else and win. I've been backing up Dabo consistently throughout all these because he turned that program around, but that was a really bad loss that he had to Syracuse.
If they want me gone, if they tired of winning, they can send me on their way, because that's all we've done is win. So if they tired of winning, we've won this league 8 out of the last 10 years. Is that not good? I'm just asking. Is that good? I don't know if that's good or not. To win your league 8 out of 10 years, to go to the playoffs 7 out of 10 years, to be in 4 national championships, win it twice. Yeah, we're a little down right now. Take your shots, but I got a long memory, in case y'all don't know. We'll be all right. We'll bounce back. This is a program built to last, always has been, always will be. And I would just say, if you give up on us if you don't believe in us because we've lost 2 games down to the last straight and we're one, you didn't believe in us anyway, so it don't matter. You wasn't all in anyway. If you're all in, you burn the ships, man. There ain't no exit strategy. Like, you're freaking all in. And hey, listen, I mean, if Clemson's tired of winning, they send me on my way, but I'm gonna go somewhere else and coach. I ain't going to the beach. Hell, I'm 55. I got a long way to go. Y'all gonna have to deal with me for a while. I got a long way to go. I'm just getting going. I'm just now good enough to be a head coach.
Okay, so this was after he lost 2 games. Then Syracuse comes into Clemson. They were a double-digit underdog. See, I think they were a 17-point dog in this game, and they lose. Clemson loses 34-21 at home, and Dabo doesn't sound. You might not hear "fire me now" and give his age here.
But why are we held to a different standard from all these other teams out there who ain't ever won nothing? We're not perfect, and we may suck this year. We may lay a freaking egg and go 6-6.
You'd be lucky to get 6-6. I think Dabo's realized that the best job isn't coaching college football; it's being fired from coaching college football.
I mean, where is Jimbo Fisher right now? Is he still making?
Did you run into him on your campus tour? Jimbo's out there working for ACC Network.
Nah, I didn't see him.
Let's play the sound of Dabo sounding broken. You've gotten all of the arrogance. Let me hear broken.
Disappointed, painful. I mean, hurt. I mean, I'm human. I mean, I'm not a cyborg. I mean, this is my life, man. I mean, I've been here 23 years. I love this place. I give this place the very best I got every single day. Every day. There's never been a day that I haven't given Clemson every ounce of everything I have. I hurt. I mean, I've invested my life here. And when I don't get the job done, I'm responsible.
I'm 55 years old. I mean,
Seriously.
I could be fired at any time.
Not a robot.
And it'd cost them less if they do it next year, perhaps.
Not really. Like if they fire him now, his buyout's $60 million. Next year it's $57 million, and after that they have to pay him everything that's left from 2027 to 2031.
Did he not listen to himself? He's like, why are we held to a different standard? I mean, we won a bunch of championships around here.
I won this league 10 times. That good? I don't know.
Yeah, why aren't they treating us like every other 6-6 ACC team? Is it because we've won so many of these championships while I was here? Maybe that's perhaps. I don't know.
No.
I'm just a 55-year-old man. I'm just good enough now to be a head coach.
He has special Alabama clauses in his contract also. So, like, if he were to leave to coach Alabama, he would have to pay Clemson $6 million. And if it's any other school, he'd have to pay them $4 million. And every single year there's clauses like that, and it's only Alabama that's higher than every other school in the country. So when they signed him to this 10-year deal in 2021, they were really afraid of him leaving to go to Alabama when Saban left. And now they want to get rid. Now they're hoping Alabama fires their coach and hires him so that he has to pay them instead of the other way around.
You can't run down that hill the way he does and then lose 34-21 to Syracuse.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Can you run down the hill the way Dabo does and then lose 34-21 to Syracuse? I do want some college football observations from you guys, especially from Zaslow, who's a college football expert and was part of ESPN Radio's coverage all week, and want Mike Ryan's thoughts on game day as well. Texas Tech looked awfully impressive to me, and somehow their backup quarterback, Will Hammond, is better than their starter, Morton, because he came into the game and they all of a sudden started dragging Utah. But the game for me that I enjoyed most this weekend, by the way, Belichick quietly lost to UCF 34-9 this weekend.
He lost to Ja'Cory Brown, former Miami third-string quarterback. Dan, to your Texas Tech point, they spent so much money this offseason on that defense. And on College Game Day, they did a breakdown of what this defense does. You got D tackles holding guys up with one hand, just kind of pushing them away so they can make a tackle with the other arm. They got Romello Height from Georgia Tech, who appears to be a mercenary and a good one. Texas Tech, that's a team that spent a lot of money and it seems to be working out for them.
I felt the limitations of offense in Auburn and Oklahoma. And when I looked at the stat sheet, Oklahoma had 8 sacks at the half and finished with a record for the school 10 sacks, but I really did think it was 20. Dude. I'm not joking when I tell you I thought that they had more sacks in the second half than they did in the first because of the amount of pressure they kept getting.
Interesting storyline with Jackson Arnold, who was quarterback for Oklahoma. Now
did they
playing
boo
for
him?
Auburn. Yeah, they did.
It's kind of weird.
And Oklahoma, they cheated to win that game. SEC refs admitted. They did one of those.
They admitted they cheated.
They did they blew that call. Oklahoma tried to be cute. They ran a guy to the sideline pretending that he was going to sub out.
I like when they do that.
Defense was super confused. You're not allowed to do this. It's against the rules. Calls for timeout were even ignored. Guy who's pretending to be subbed out stays on the side of the sideline, just walks into the end
Why
zone.
can't you do that?
It was a bad call. You can't, because it's cheating.
That should be allowed.
Why is it cheating?
He's on the field.
Because the defense is allowed to substitute, so they're caught in no man's land. Like, is this guy checking in? Is he checking out? He goes into the end zone unguarded.
I disagree.
There was also a bad call on a fumble return that should have went Auburn's way. It was just really bad. And then they get the safety at the very end for a back-breaking 6.5, and you know I was on that 6.5.
Now you can hear it.
That's how you could hear it.
There you go.
You
There's
could
the
hear
cheating.
it. Of course you could hear
They
it.
cheated.
That's the cheating right there.
Auburn, for the last 2, I've been on Auburn against Oklahoma the last 2 years. They're inventing ways to lose to this team and not cover.
The best game of the weekend was Arkansas-Memphis. Arkansas was winning the whole game, and then Memphis took the lead late, and Arkansas had the ball clearly in field goal range inside of the 10-yard line at the end. Could have just milked the clock. I think could have just knelt. Handed the ball to the running back, and he got the ball punched out. Is Mike Gundy going to last the season?
No. There's no way. I can't believe he got out of that building. No. Watching that game on Friday, I can't believe he got out of that building. There were really, good sources that said Mike Gundy was out. There were reports saying that he was out. And at the 11th hour, he agreed to some sort of deal that saved his job. There is no way Mike Gundy is still coaching.
He gave back money.
That was a deal.
He gave back money in order to keep his job, but I thought they were terrible last year, and they were. I thought they were as bad a big conference team as I saw all of last year, but they're worse this year. They just got dragged at home. Well, I don't even know. Was it Tulsa or Tulane?
It was Tulsa. And Tulane, I guess you can understand it. Tulane's not a bad football team.
Tulsa's always bad.
Tulsa's not. Tulsa doesn't belong to be playing on the same surface as Oklahoma
They're
State.
going to get their ass kicked at home next week, too. They have Baylor. They're going to lose that game, too.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Has Tulsa ever even one time been good at football? Yes or no? I want to know because I just associate Tulsa. You tell me that name, and I'm just always associating that with bad college football.
Also, geographically, strange place to have a hurricane. I never really got that mascot name for Tulsa.
How about Indiana? You see Indiana kill Illinois?
Dude, Mendoza might be the real deal.
He's good. He's from here, right?
Yeah, he was. He was a Cal quarterback that gave Miami everything that they could handle. He was one of those quarterbacks that was linked to Miami in the offseason. By the way, John Mateer, Mendoza, Carson Beck were the three quarterbacks that Miami was pursuing this offseason. All three guys are probably
pretty
headed
good
to New York right now if you were to pull Heisman voters.
How about Indiana, though? Indiana jumped up from number 19 to 11 in the poll after crushing number 9 Illinois. One spot behind, one lost Texas.
That's Indiana. Look at Indiana's schedule because they always find a way to get these sweetheart schedules. They'll have some tough conference tests, but to do that to a top 10 team, it seems like Cignetti is going to be in that conversation, that playoff conversation. They've already shown that a Big Ten team, that TCB's like that, they don't need to play anybody non-conference, and that's what he's banking on.
What do you guys think of this Paul Feinbaum quote on Dabo? It's time for him to do one of two things. It's either consider another school, and I think he is hireable if he quits talking, or just get away from football and become a TV guy. He's very funny. He'd be very glib. He's got more credentials than any other non-TV coach out there. Of the people that could leave coaching and go into TV, he would be very coveted.
There's another solution. Fully embrace the portal. I know it's not part of that program's identity. I think their best player on the D-line is like the one transfer portal.
They have, like 3 transfer portal kids, I think, on the team this year, right?
Yeah, they're some of the better players on that roster.
Why can't he just adjust?
Just give yourself over to where college football is and stop thinking that you have all the answers. He very clearly thinks that he does have all the answers from his
program's
built
to last.
I mean, Paul Feinbaum ain't wrong. Like, stop talking. That should be one because he's not doing himself favors. He's becoming a joke.
Well, you're right. He should invest in the portal because teams that do are ranked number 2 in the nation, to use an example. But the problem with Feinbaum's comment is Dabo Swinney's got a very impressive resume. So what are you saying? He's not allowed a 1-3 start?
Well, he's just 3. I think 3 of his last 4 seasons have 3 losses or more in them, and so of course, he's allowed a 1-3 start. But this is what the descent looks like. It's not up for argument.
He's kind of not allowed a 1-3 start.
He won the ACC
Apparently
last
not.
season with 3 losses, and he was in the playoff.
Yeah, and if you don't believe that, ask Dabo. He'll be very quick to remind you of that.
It's not just 3 losses, though, Greg. It's you're supposed to get right against Syracuse at home.
Agreed.
And
it's a bad loss.
And it's not like
a loss in which everyone's like questioning the difference between this
Syracuse
Dabo
is
team.
not a bad team.
No. Although their season's probably going to fall off some because Angeli, who's been really good for them, had a non-contact injury that wipes him out for the season. So that's not going to be a loss at age as well. I don't think. But usually when he's at these forks in the road where Tyler from Spartanburg's going at him, or they lose to these other teams, he's very good to back up his words with a good performance. And to lose at home a conference game, 17.5-point favorite, and not have they were never in that game. Syracuse totally controlled that game. That's not what this season was about for Clemson. They came in ranked top 10.
Dabo versus Belichick up next.
Syracuse, Fran Brown, their coach, is a good talker. He's the one who reminded us last year that he doesn't shower after they lose. Here he is after beating Dabo and presumptuous, and I presume Tyler as well, in Clemson.
I don't care about what Vegas said. Nah, Vegas said Canelo was about to win. But, shit, you know what I'm saying? Crawford said different.
Does he understand? Vegas is not like a prediction. It's not. That's not what it is.
No,
man.
they try to get action.
Vegas said different.
It's not a prediction.
Vegas said different.
Zaslow, how was your time with Mike Ryan tailgating and as part of the ESPN radio campus tour? I understand that Willis McGahee was wandering
He had a good
around,
time.
the yammering and yelling into the sky, fueled by whatever it is that he was enjoying in terms of liquid.
He made one of our videos for ESPN Radio unusable. Let's just put it that way. Willis was having a good time, though. Good for him. We had a great time tailgating. I mean, like Mike said, we had a bunch of Florida Panthers who were hanging out with us. Mike knows how to do a good tailgate. I'll tell you something. I've never been to a Mike Ryan tailgate. He knows how to do it. Good music. I mean, it was lacking a little bit of the Pearl Jam, but whatever. I'm not a DJ. Good music, good food, good drinks. And then, let me tell you something. I sat with Mike for the game. Those seats, that's where I sit now. That's where I sit for all
The
the games.
recliners and the televisions and all that stuff?
That's where I sit for all the games now.
Okay, you mentioned that, but you didn't give me any further details on what
Big, comfortable seats, lots of leg room. Sometimes I like to, I want to, spread out a little bit. I want to be comfortable. I can stand when I want. I can sit when I want. Drinks flowing. There's food. You got the TVs right there. What a great. That's where I sit now.
You mentioned that.
Wait a minute. Are you a golden cane like Mike, or
I mean,
no? Yeah.
I don't get involved in that minutia. I'm just telling you, that's where I sit.
It's for someone else to figure out. But Zaslow walks into that barn, that's where he sits.
Michigan won at Nebraska this weekend. What's the name of their interim coach? Biff something?
Bogey?
Their interim coach. How was he going to celebrate after it is that they beat Nebraska? And Matt Rule, host of the House Rules podcast.
What are you going to do tonight to celebrate?
I'm going to eat some Haagen-Dazs coffee ice cream with my wife and smoke a Cuban cigar and then probably go to the hospital.
I love that last part. He was also great on game day. Saban was interviewing him. He's like, I remember when you were down there at St. Francis paying players. He's like, I learned that from you, coach.
When he's at the hospitals at the end of the night, he's like, this is a great night.
Yes. Let's play it again. Yes. Ice cream and cigars in the hospital. That's a good night. That's a good night.
What are you going to do tonight to celebrate?
I'm going to eat some Haagen-Dazs coffee ice cream with my wife and smoke a Cuban cigar and then probably go to the hospital.
Cigar.
He's high-fiving the nurses, Like,
probably go to the hospital.
Smoking a cigar in the hospital, that guy.
By the way, Nebraska, don't be afraid to win one of these.
Mike, how was the game day experience?
So I heard from a lot of people at ESPN. They're like, "Man, this is better than 2017." I didn't think so. I think 2017 had, just by volume, more people there, and it also happened later in the season, so the weather was better. Shout out to all those kids that were there. It was a hot one. Florida, South Florida in particular, especially with a bunch of students from the Northeast. Not exactly a hockey town. Matthew Tkachuk, clearly hindered by this injury, did his best to get the people there, but it was all about the moment with Pat McAfee in the Speedo going off the diving board. I think overall it was just a great weekend for the University of Miami. Shout out to that athletics department, Joe Echeverria, the president, Kim Gorby, the SID. Cristobal came off great in his interviews. The campus looked beautiful on television. It looked like a place you wanted to be. And then it's not the prettiest game, but Miami TCB's and looks physically dominant against an in-state rival. Just pretty much ends a Billy Napier experience at Florida and looks a certain way. Looks like a legit contender. And on a neutral field, I'd concede to the champs. I think that Ohio State is better than Miami, probably a little bit more experience, more depth. Certainly, Miami's got to stay healthy. But the neutral field this year in the national title game is in Miami.
Isn't quarterfinals also here, right?
Miami looks a certain way, and I think they'll have a really good test. Now, it's a weird schedule for them. They're only going to play one game in the next 20 days, but that game's against Florida State, which, by the way, not the easiest opponent on Friday when they go up to Charlottesville against Virginia. That team can move the ball. I don't think it's going to be a low-scoring one, but I think FSU in this game might fortify some things that will get them feeling good about their offense, but won't exactly be where they can win this game because Miami's going to give you a different energy along those trenches.
As a Canes fan, you want FSU to beat Virginia, though, right?
I do, but I'd be, hey, don't overlook the who's. Don't overlook Chandler Morris. They can move the ball.
A couple of things I do want to say, though. I've known Mario Cristobal, since he was an offensive lineman in college, and I've told you that his brother's a good deal more intense and menacing, his older brother is, than he is. Mario Cristobal works extraordinarily hard and is usually soaked in an inordinate amount of stress. The way that he is presently carrying himself in interviews is as a man who is really confident in the players that he has. Lane Kiffin told us when that group of men were coaching in Alabama that they would walk onto the field and just know that they had the bigger, stronger, faster players every single time that they were walking onto the football field. Cristobal has had some of that stress pour off of him in these interviews where he doesn't seem nearly as much under duress.
I noticed it too. He was really kind to me. He gave me a lot of time over the weekend as well for ESPN, and obviously it has a lot to do with the current state of the program. I mean, he was really nice and really forthcoming with me.
It's Mario Cristobal go on any show but this one, it seems, huh? Greg Cody twice, Zazo for an extended period of time.
You know what? Mario is so confident in his team right now, he can't even convey publicly what he thinks of his team. It's one of those situations where he has to be careful what he says publicly, because I just think he's supremely confident. I think before the Notre Dame game, he knew he was going to win. I think before the South Florida game, he knew he was going to win easily. He can't say that, but I've never seen him so confident in the roster he has. Would you agree, Mike?
Teams with this type of advantage along the trenches, they're going to be in every game. You're not going to blow out a team with that offensive line, and now you can add the defensive line. We kind of said this last year. You don't blow out teams with that offensive line. Miami, to their credit, lost 2 games by a combined 9 points. We're in every game. It's different this year. You know they're not going to abandon the run game like they have last year. They blew the Syracuse game, which they were leading 21-0, and they were running at 7 yards a clip, and they were still chasing awards and whatnot. They couldn't break themselves because they were so desperate down here for 20 years to get a quarterback that looked like Cam Ward. Once you had the toy, your identity was Cam's going to figure it out. Cam's going to save us. That's not the identity here. Carson Beck, I don't have it today. Let's hand it to Mark Fletcher. He'll get hit at the line of scrimmage 3 yards in, and then that line of scrimmage will then move 7 more yards because everybody in mass is just going to physically dominate the opponent.
Now, granted, the Florida defensive line was depleted by injury a little bit, but I don't think I've ever seen a offensive line physically play that well against a good defense. It was just is so complete all over the field right now. I just don't see a weakness other than what you mentioned, depth. But if their starting 24 are healthy, they're as good as anybody in the country other than OSU.
Speaking, starting 24?
Punter and kicker. Pretty important.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chris did the research this weekend.
Yeah, in fact, this is a little bit delayed, but...
Yo, chicken time!
I don't believe it was 15 minutes of research. You don't actually do 15 minutes of research on anything. Why don't you look up somebody who does the return to research? Are the Kings peaking too soon? Some are asking number 2 this early. Setting up a disappointment. The photo that shows every game and the makes and misses in every game.
Speaking of confidence, in the history of sports media people, how many are there who could pull off what McAfee did this weekend? Give me the names of the people who do that stuff. The game day experience, it's hard to transition from Lee Corso to something that is younger and has more energy, but him upping the ante on $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, $500,000 field goal kicks, and then
pathetic kicks this weekend.
I mean, that is life-changing really money for you and your boys, and he gave you a second chance.
Pathetic.
And you can bank it in. You know, it's legit. Like, a lot of people just assume, ESPN takes care of Pat on the back end. No, he makes these spur-of-the-moment decisions, and he's the one that fronts the money. He's got on that game, I think that's the best version of Pat McAfee. I really do. He leans into what makes that show special.
See him feeding Saban the Gator sandwich. He got Nick Saban on camera to take bites out of a huge sandwich.
And for Pat McAfee to pull off that big moment at the end and make it feel big when David Pollack did that in 2017, Jenna Sims did that earlier in the show, and it still felt bigger because of the the personality and just the general star power that Pat McAfee has.
He's a star. Everyone was following him around on game day. Like the crowds of people wherever he would walk to, if he was switching stages, if he was going over to the field goal contest. Like he had crowds of people following him. Everyone had their phones out. Where's Pat? Where's Pat? Like that guy commands a crowd.
I did get to speak to Chucky, though. If Chucky wasn't fresh off of surgery, Chucky would have been right there up there with him, jumping off that thing.
But this guy was tough.
They had that conversation. That would have been a look. That would have been a look.
I'm out for 2 months.
Two-time Stanley Cup champion Paul Maurice will be joining us here in a few minutes.
That bore.
The preseason has begun, and the Panthers don't seem to be taking it terribly seriously. Matthew Tkachuk was going to jump into the pool with Pat McAfee. Matthew Tkachuk, everyone speaks highly of Matthew Tkachuk. Everyone likes everything that guy's about.
He gets it, man. And he's been such a great ambassador for the sport. Last week I said, including LeBron, name a more impactful sports acquisition in this pro market. When you apply the context of where the Panthers were as a franchise, it's not even particularly close. The impact, the game-changing impact, franchise-changing, altering impact that Matthew Tkachuk has had. And from observing him and hanging out with him some, I've always known he's been a great ambassador for the game because he's a good talker. He's always eager to do these interviews with everybody. But to see fans, Miami's an event town. Miami still has a long way to go in terms of being a hockey market. There are a lot of people that are going up to him just curious, what is this big hoopla? And every child that goes up to him, it's not just a pat on the head and a picture that would make somebody's day. It's a sit-down conversation. Make sure I give you my time.
He was happy to talk to everyone.
The guy knows. He just gets it. What a great ambassador for South Florida sport. He's the first ever hockey player to make picks on College game day. He's a star. His play deserves being a star. But his attitude and his approach to fans and the sport and making people fans of his and the sport, I can't say enough good things about the guy.
I think he's perfect. I think he's everything you want. If I'm Gary Bettman and I ask him, who do you think or who do you want to be the face of your league, I pick Matthew Tkachuk. He plays for the two-time championship team. He's engaging. He's arguably the best American player in the league. He's exactly who you want.
I told him. I wanted to make sure. I mean, somebody's told him in the last couple of years, but I wanted to make sure to hear from me. And I told him, like, you have any idea how horrendous this franchise was for my entire life before these last couple of years? I wanted to make sure you knew, Dan.
Is it weird for like a 50-year-old to be saying that to a 27-year-old?
I'm
like,
not 50,
oh my God,
number one. All right.
You know how
so
important you are to me.
I didn't say it like that.
You mean so much.
I've been around athletes before. All right. There's no starstruck here.
Thank you so much,
I didn't sound like a jerk like that. Out of here.
So happy. My kids beat me up. Little one's here today, right? He could just come and smack you across the head.
He's not the one that'll challenge him.
Yeah, that one's not old enough.
He's not allowed to? Why, you don't think you could take him? I think it'd be a fair fight. Sizing the two of you up.
There were some people that were a little disappointed in Matthew Tkachuk being the game day picker. I guess they wanted Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson or some superstar. Yeah. But to have that guy go out there decked out in UM gear, holding up UM hockey jerseys, and then be like, no, I'm going to go to the game. I'm going to pull up with a huge Panthers cooler with about 6 of my teammates. Hey, this is Anton. Let me introduce you. Go up to a tailgate, listen to all sorts of Bad Bunny, and just like throw them back and just enjoy the day. That dude has a VIP treatment waiting for him at Hard Rock Stadium. No, I'm going to talk to the team. I'll be right back. I'm going to leave my cooler here. I want to be amongst the people. These guys are great.
We're going to get to Paul Maurice in a second, but first I got to make fun of me, myself, and Chris Cody. I will again remind you that while giving you betting advice a while ago, Orioles starter Trevor Rogers was going in the game, and Chris Cody bet against the Orioles only because it was Trevor Rogers. And my only analysis is you throw that guy out there, you're going to get an ERA over 5. Since then, go ahead and play the stat of the day music so that people can hear just how good Trevor Rogers has been this season.
Start of the day, start of the day. It is the start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. It is the start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. It is the start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. It is the start of the day.
Dan, to make this even worse for me, my exact quote when I talked about Trevor Rogers months back was, if I know anything in this world, it's you bet against Trevor Rogers. No pitcher in the history of Major League Baseball has had 17-plus starts in a season and allowed fewer earned runs than starts. 17 starts, no one's ever had fewer earned runs than starts. Trevor Rogers has a chance to make history this season. With his 17 starts, he's allowed 16 earned runs all season. What? And I said months ago, if I know anything in this world, you bet against Trevor Rogers.
Are you aware of just how long baseball's history is and how many pitchers have thrown baseballs in that sport? For that to be what haunts us following that analysis. You understand how many people, how many arms have thrown baseballs without being as good as the left arm that Trevor Rogers has had this season?
I don't get it, because he wasn't that good with us.
No, he was terrible.
And I'm not going to lie, I haven't watched a single start with the Orioles. What's happened?
Since the 1880s, people have been pitching.
The Orioles are also a team that I told you would be great for 10 years because of their farm system. They've been betrayed by pitching this year. And also, at least the Braves have injuries to look at.
Stop making excuses for them. They suck.
Well, the Orioles ran into the Yankees this weekend, and there was a baseball storyline that I was actually into because of the local times, because Giancarlo Stanton hit his 450th home run of his career against the Orioles. I didn't know he was that high. I didn't know that he was up to.
He's going to sneak into the Hall of Fame.
He's apparently the 5th youngest to reach that number. And obviously, you're talking about all-time greats. In terms of modern era, it's just McGuire and A-Rod. And A-Rod was playing when he was 18 years old. That got to that number quicker than Giancarlo Stanton. I don't know if he has. I know the production later in his career, and he's been hobbled by injuries. I don't know if this is a guy that could be in that conversation, especially given where he is in age. But I would love to see him have a healthy go at it because he's still got incredible pop.
I think all 500 home run guys are in the Hall of Fame. I don't know if the sport has changed so much now that
there's a lot that aren't.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah. Jose Canseco is
an A-Rod
Gary
the leader of
A-Rod.
But how much? How much of that
Rafael
is
Palmeiro?
But all of that is steroid speculation.
Right.
And Giancarlo being built the way that he has, but he's had the benefit of playing in this era where they have all this rigorous testing, rigorous in air quotes. I mean, I don't know, but he's never. Remember when he was approaching that home run record? Everyone's like, finally, this is a legit one potentially. That's why the Maris family was there. He's not a guy that has steroid allegations following him like the others you just outlined.
Yeah, I think he's a Hall of Famer. And keep in mind, he's done a fair amount of time on the injury list. Like, he would be over 500 if he were healthier.
There he is. Does it make you happy to see him, Zaslow? Does it make you happy? Look at this man.
I love this man.
He has brought champions. Look, Zaslow. He's whispering your name.
Yeah.
Look at.
Yeah, the man who travels. Awesome.
There you go. That's my guy right there. That's my coach.
That's it. We appreciate that's commitment, my friend. That's casual fans. No, that's the guy who cuts his vacation short to root on the home team. That's something. That's props to you.
Oh, man. Props to you. What do you mean props to me? Props to you. You brought so much joy into my life, Coach. Thank you.
Yeah, it was nice of journalists.
Stop talking. He's saying nice things about me,
Okay,
Greg.
sorry. You're right.
No, we all shared it together. That's the great part of these runs, right? Everybody's got a story, and everybody's stories is important. Like everybody, like families get together, families ostracize somebody who can't win a game when they're in the room, so they stick them upstairs. I mean, that happens at my house, right? I got a young kid that has to watch it from the bedroom upstairs, can't watch it in the main floor. We just can't win, so we got our priorities set.
Paul, when you got to South Florida, what did your greatest dreams look like, and have you already exceeded them?
This is so far beyond that, and it's beyond the winning. And I don't want to be hypocritical or full of it. You win the Stanley Cup, everything's going to be pretty good, right? Like, you can probably get through anything that's not real good if you're winning the cup. But beyond the cups, the professional experience here is fantastic, right? These men are incredible to work with. They work hard. They don't mind being pushed. They want to win. They take care of each other. They're good. You know what? They treat each other great, but they also treat everybody else, right? The equipment guys, the medical guys, the flight attendants, everybody. They're very appreciative of the situation that they're in, and that makes coming to the rink a lot of fun.
How unusual is it? I see them vacationing together with their families. And how unusual is what looks like love to me among your players? How unusual is that?
Well, I do think it's part of the culture of our sport. So the game, the demands of the game kind of drive men together, if you would. It's an 82-game schedule, full contact, high-speed sport where you play with pain, right? You don't lay on the field. You get up and you play with it. So there's a connection that happens with them. And because there's 82 games, there's an awful lot of highs and lows, and I think that makes the wives and the extended family close. And then you add in just great memories, right? They're just fun. The guys are fun to be around because they won together. So I think we have that, but we have that on the road too. They have big group dinners. They spend an awful lot of time with each other because they love each other.
Last year's team better than the original champions?
Probably a higher talent level through a better depth, and possibly better role definition when you look at kind of what happened to our team when Greer, Nosek, and Gadjevich came back into the lineup. They're a defined style of play, which is different than everybody else's. So we had, I don't know, texture is the word in my head, but we had a different look on each line, a different feel, so we could play the game in a bunch of different arenas and a bunch of different styles and be successful.
Coach, we've seen the clips over the few years that you've been here where you're not afraid to grill your guys during the game, to yell at them during the game, to motivate them the way that you do during the game. You don't see that in the other pro sports here in this country. What is it about hockey players where you're still able to coach them like that?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's part of maybe even the fun of it. Right? Like first of all, I got a tremendous amount of respect for these players, and they know that by the way I treat them, and I know that by the way they treat the whole coaching staff. But you get into those games now, they're wired too, right? Like you've had way too much coffee by the time you hit the bench. You're wired. You get into those playoffs games. So it's not a personal assault to them. We're trying to get the whole group to another level, and they're all smart enough to understand that's what's going on. So they're in on it, right? Like they're kind of feeding off you. There's times where you're just trying to raise the energy level on the bench, or now we're at a point that we've all agreed on playing the game a certain way, and when it's not being played, you don't have to jump on them right away. We talk about it, but that you hit a threshold where you need to get their attention back on the game. I don't do it nearly as much as maybe I would have done it in the past. I don't need to. But when it's done, right? So when they come back to the rink the next day, that's over. We'll deal with it and move on. There's they say there's no doghouse. There just isn't. We're here to perform every single day. We're not hitting that mark every day. We're going to have our failures, and we need those. So when you're having your failures, maybe you let them go a little bit because you know what they've done and you've seen it, but you just can't let it go too long.
Paul, can you give us an idea what the last few years have meant to you on the most personal level beyond hockey? Because when you got here, you were the most accomplished, longest-serving coach, the winningest coach in the NHL history, who had never won a Stanley Cup, and now you've won 2 in a row. What has that meant to you on the most personal level?
That's, I don't even know that I fully sorted that out yet, right? That will be a backward-looking thing. I can tell you, I'm trying to, I answered the question earlier, and I still don't have a great answer because I'd be lying to you if it's in the Stanley Cups didn't make all the difference. They made a huge difference. But where you get some kind of joy in your life is doing something that's possibly, that has some value outside the game. So just being around these players and seeing a different look of pro sports, right? Like we have about 8 or 9 guys who took less money to play here. That you just don't see that, right? It just doesn't happen, and there's a reason for it, because you got to look at the Florida Panthers as kind of like the total compensation package. It's not just about the money, but they have friendships. They're brothers in there. They care about each other, so they get to come to the rink like that every day. That's part of South Florida. The weather's great. Mr. Viola treats us great. We're in this incredible practice facility. The staff here tries to move them forward, make them better. It's not a there's not a lot of conflict about getting better. They want to get better. We want them to get better. So you get to have this completely different pro sport experience, and hopefully, at some point, that gets emulated. That this is looked at a way that you can win. It doesn't. We want to work harder than everybody in the league, but we also want to have more fun than anybody in the league. So we laugh, we joke, we enjoy our days here, and that for me has been, I'll go back to it. When you win, you get to enjoy your day a little bit differently, right? So I'm aware of that impact it's had, but the players first. The players have had a greater impact on the coaches, I think, than the coaches have had on the players.
3 straight Stanley Cup final. You basically played an extra season of playoff games. How are you going to work around this wear and tear?
Yeah, we're not going to try to. So, well, I'll give you an example. Our veterans haven't been on the ice yet, so we pushed training camp for those guys 1 week back. And it will probably be viewed from the outside that you're trying to get them more rested, but that's not the case. What we're trying to do is get another week of training time. So we go hard here. So the first time that we hit the ice on Thursday, they can't individually train anymore. There's nothing left of them. So we gave them another week so they could train. And that would be the piece that's missing. But our season ended a week earlier last season, right? So we finished on the 17th instead of the 24th. So we get another week of training. I understand they're not training that week, they're celebrating, but that has to happen. Then they have to recover and rest, and with injuries taken care of, and then they start training. So we pushed training camp back a week. So we got another 2 weeks of training for them. The early routine returns on their fitness level is outstanding. We think we've made improvements, and it's hard for these guys to make improvements now just because they're at that marginal rate. None of our guys are getting 10% fitter. There's not 10% left for them to get more fit. So they've trained harder, and then we're going to go real hard, and we're not going to spend any time worrying about fatigue or overuse because everybody's tired in January. Everybody is. So you just got to get used to it.
Coach, who's the craziest guy you've had in your time with the Panthers? I'm thinking back first year, Radko Gudas. You had Lomberg, seems like a wild man. Gadjevich last year. Kachuk seems like he's got some screws loose. Who's the craziest guy?
Yeah, I can't pick a dude because so what's great about what you just said is you mentioned a bunch of guys that aren't here anymore, but they're still, their personalities stay, they're still part of the group. Like we still tell stories about those guys. And then even, we've got this I'm almost like a weird bunch of guys. We've got an incredible bunch of different personalities in that room. And we encourage that. Like, we're not trying to make them all one player. We're just getting them to all play one game with their different personalities. But we get in northern parlance, we got some beauties in that room. I mean, we do.
Goalies are strange. Do you coach Bobrovsky or do you leave him alone?
Yeah, I talk to him. He's an incredibly interesting guy. You want to talk about an interesting life and things he's been through. The way he trains, I don't know anything about goaltending. I know a little bit about body language of goaltenders and kind of what they go through. They carry a different kind of pressure than anybody else. I mean, other than a shutout, they don't get the same kind of payoff, right? They don't get to score a goal. They don't get to score the game winner. So it's a completely different mentality in that. And that I just try to get to know them, get to feel what they need from the coaches. We got a guy named Robbie Tallis here who's the goalie coach, and he's brilliant. So I just leave him to that. Robbie, the last 2 years, has basically laid out the regular season schedule, and other than 1 or 2 games kind of on illness, we haven't made an adjustment to it. So we go into the coach's office in between periods. I don't do this to Sergei anymore because he's just been too good. But you complain about a goal or two, and then the goalie coach kind of gives you a knowing nod and say, "Okay, you've had your say. Now move on." Right? Like you have. It's a nice. Robbie does a great job of telling me I have no idea what I'm talking about without making me feel that. So that's how that works.
All right. So your answer was no. I don't coach him at all. I talk to him.
Coffee.
All right.
Coffee. If we hit each other at the coffee places, we'll talk how the family is, how the kids are. Yeah, that's it.
Fill in the blank for me here a little bit rapid fire. The toughest player I have is blank.
No. There's a toss-up in between Sam Bennett and probably Aaron Ekblad, but here's the problem. I got 4 guys on the back end who separated shoulders last year in the playoffs, right? Like over grade 1 shoulder, and they never missed a game. So if I give you one guy, I'm being disrespectful to Sam Bennett, who played an entire playoff round with a broken foot and didn't tell anybody. So, like that was a grade 2 knee sprain that Sam Reinhart suffered. I don't know who the toughest guy is. Whoever the most injured guy in our room, that's the toughest guy we got, because he's probably still in
the best leader I have is blank.
The best leader?
Yes.
About an 18-inch steel one for pike fish.
The best.
You guys don't freshwater fish. Yeah, because it goes back to the strength of our room. There are different leadership styles in our room, but it's the guy that we need that night. That's the best leader.
What was your reaction when Bill Zito told you that we got Brad Marchand? What was your reaction when that happened?
Well, I've desensitized to it now, so I'll take you back. The summer that I get the job, he calls me and he says, I think I can get Matthew Tkachuk, but the price is going to be pretty high. And I got off the phone. I thought, you're crazy. You're not getting Matthew Tkachuk. Like, I mean, it's just not happening. And then he calls back 15 minutes later and says, I just made the trade. So now, we've over the course of the years there, we've added these players. Seth Jones would be the next one. He started firing out Seth Jones' name like in the last summer. There might be a guy that we can, and I'm thinking there's no way you're getting Seth Jones. So when he says the Brad Marchand one was unusual because it's a half hour before the trade deadline and I'm packing my office up because it's over, right? There's nothing else going to happen. And that one surprised me, to say the least.
Did you dislike him before that?
Oh, of course. Yeah, absolutely. I don't think as much as Matthew Tkachuk. I think I disliked Matthew more than Brad. And the reason I didn't mind Brad as much is when we played them in the Game 7s in the 7-game series and beat them. He gave an interview about Game 5 to a Boston reporter, and it was perfect. It was like incredible leadership things that he said. He was very respectful for how hard we play. He wasn't complaining. He wasn't whining. It was a full-on brutal series. It was a battle. There were guys going after each other, but he handled it like such a leader, such a man. And so I had a little more room for him. I didn't fully appreciate, believe it or not, how good he is. So I don't think that you fully, you watch the games, but you almost need to see him in practice every day to see the skill set that they have. And I don't know that I fully appreciated how good his hands are.
But Tkachuk wasn't a leader, what you're saying before he got here. He's just kind of like a scumbag that he hated.
What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm not going to attach myself to that word. I'm going to leave that one to you. No, but for all the reasons, right? He's in Calgary, I'm in Winnipeg. We play each other an awful lot. We played each other in the playoffs. And he has that ability he has an incredible ability to sense what a game needs. And he'll get through a lot of nights very quietly. Now, he might score, but he's not starting any fires. But if he needs to, he has a great sense of when and how.
Coach, my final question is, I love you.
I love you too.
I love you too,
and thank
Coach.
you.
I love you.
Okay, I appreciate it. So the question says there's medical help for that, fellas. There are good professionals out there you guys can go see. They can help you.
So much.
They love you too.
You love
Appreciate
him
it.
now. Have you told him to his face the way you told
Don't worry
Tkachuk
about that.
you-
Everybody's allowed to be wrong once. Don't
All
worry
right.
about
Called
that.
you the murder of fun when you first got here,
The
Coach.
murder
Why are you
of
snitching?
fun.
But that would be accurate. That would be fair.
Thanks, Coach.
That would be fair. The first part was we had to get to a whole bunch of hard things, so there wasn't much fun. And I had that exact meeting in January that year, and there was a little bit different language, but you're not allowed to have fun in the NHL when you play like that. So you're right. I did kill the joy. You were 100% right.
I knew it.
Good seeing you, and congratulations, Coach. It
All
was
right.
nice
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
talking to you.
Okay.
He said some stuff there that I have not heard.
Called Tkachuk a scumbag. It's insane.
He did not say that.
In fact, he distanced himself from us.
Yeah.
Put it all on you, like a real pro.
Yeah.
That was not what I thought was interesting from what it is. I had not heard that stuff on Tkachuk, on Marchand. That is not. I was not aware. I was not aware of the acquisition and how that went down, because it sounds like it sort of went down the same way that Tyreek Hill went down for Mike McDaniel, where you're getting a call and as the coach you don't believe that something is going to happen, and then 15 minutes later it actually happens.
Did you guys get that pike fish?
That went way over my head.
Yeah.
I was like, fishing,
The
man.
leader
Good joke.
on-
It was funny though.
It's on the reel.
Yeah,
you got
I
a
was not
leader.
along, like
Yeah.
I was trying to figure. He said leader. I was thinking liter, like
Yeah.
T.
No, that's the metric
Talking about-
system.
Exactly,
Is that a
but
cliche?
Canadian. So I'm trying to
Pike
figure it
fish,
out.
something?
Yeah.
funny to
Yeah.
know. But I was just like, yeah, great answer,
You're
coach.
so funny and charming.
You're funny.
What other sport does the coach specifically not know how to coach a certain player on the team?
I bet that's common with goaltenders, though, right? I
Right,
mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, they're a whole different ballgame, those guys. Especially when they're Russian, they don't speak the language.
Well, the language is part of it.
Oh,
Like
took that to a spot.
Frank Robinson one time told me while he was managing the Expos that he didn't even speak to Vladimir Guerrero because he didn't want anything to get lost in the translation. So he just left him totally alone and just let him hit the baseball and didn't want anything to be misconstrued in texture or tone when he was talking to him because he thought he might be feeling reprimand when he's not reprimanding him.
Bob speaks English.
Yeah, he does. But still, that position, though, is just different.
Yes, yeah, everybody will tell you.
Right.
It's like closers. They're just like certain positions that there's like an accepted level of idiosyncrasies.
But the baseball manager knows about pitching.
I think they know the basics.
I mean, I'll take your word for it. I just nodded along to a fishing reference I didn't get.
We're not fishermen around here. I believe that Jessica is the only accomplished fisher person that we have around
Roy's got
here.
an award.
Yeah, and he used to wear a hook on his hat.
That's
Okay,
right.
that's great.
His friend Tom gave it to him.
Congrats, Roy.
Dad, you're Salt Life too, aren't you?
I am. I'm
Yeah,
Salt
Greg
Lake.
is Salt
Yeah,
Lake.
I
I
fish.
forgot about that.
Boat shoes.
Yeah, I've been, halibut fishing in Alaska, that kind of
You
thing.
chartered a boat one time.
Sure, I did. A couple of times.
Over the weekend, Bill Parcells was inducted into the Patriots Hall of Fame at the age of 84 years old. And during his speech, he articulated that he wished he had done some things differently. I saw this recently with Jimmy Johnson and Jerry Jones, where you get to your 80s all of a sudden and you start re-examining both your mortality and the life it is that you've led and where it is that you let some small grievances get in the way. So it's nice to see some of these folks put down their petty. But I did think it was interesting that Bob Kraft personally inducted Bill Parcells because that's usually done by vote with the Patriots, and the fans had voted in Edelman. Edelman, one of the most amazing stories in the history of football, a seventh-round pick from Kent State, having those kinds of numbers. But I did think it was interesting that Kraft decided to do that with Parcells, and I wonder if he will do the same with Belichick. And I wonder how much putting Parcells in has to do with the pettiness going on right now between Belichick and Kraft, as Belichick loses 34-9 this weekend to Central Florida, and his team has no chance at any point in the game.
Well, Kraft has said that he's going to build him a statue once he retires and he's no longer an active coach. So, I think that he knows he won that situation and he's going to honor him at some point in time. He's just still coaching.
People are enjoying what's happening to Bill.
I love
and
it.
and not just
I love
Bill,
it.
Yeah.
but also Mike Lombardi, who has often...
People hate Mike Lombardi?
Oh, Mike Lombardi has made some enemies. And Mike Lombardi, when he thinks he's smarter than you, he lets it be known. He took a lot of shots at Miami this offseason, too. John Gruden today on the Barstool program on FS1 gave this quote when being asked about Jordan Hudson being on the UNC sideline. I've never seen anything like that, man. Mike Lombardi works for North Carolina. I've heard him criticize me several times. I'm sure he'll produce a TikTok today explaining exactly what's going on over there.
Did you guys see the AI version of him kissing? That almost got me for a split second. Someone did an AI video because it was Jordan and Bill Belichick on the sidelines. Someone made an AI video as if her jumping on him on the sidelines to give him a passionate kiss. And there was 3 seconds where I was and then I was oh, that's clearly AI.
What threw you off that it was real when you saw that the score was 34-9?
His face kind of changed midway through.
That's a hint.
These AI videos, though, these pictures, they can do crazy things.
It's scary, aren't they?
People are enjoying that. What people aren't enjoying is that Barstool Wake Up show on FS1. It's got the lowest ratings in the history of FS1.
Takes time. Takes time to start something.
I mean, but they've been starting stuff over there that has never started with the lowest ratings in the history of FS1.
They have a massive audience. It's the lowest thing they've ever done.
Because I think there's a difference between how people consume things, and I think there's a gulf of difference between how the mainstream tries to get young people to watch things and how young people actually watch things. They're not watching things on television anymore. That part seems obvious. It seems that young people are simply weaning themselves off of what is traditional television. I don't know if the rest of you have felt the way that I do. Anytime I watch CBS, the graphics on football around everything that CBS does, it looks older to me.
CBS was doing a thing yesterday.
No, I don't mean yesterday. I mean every time. Yes, no, I'm not talking about.
That was a wig.
Burleson sideburns in it seem off to you.
I'm not talking about yesterday.
But in general, I'm with you.
Yesterday was the throwback day. Was Musburger on yesterday?
He was there. He did the.
You're looking live.
He did the voiceover at the start, and then James Brown welcomed him on the dais.
Mainstream television in general has a problem in that they've got a lot of old executives who are trying to figure out how to lure young people into old media. And Pat McAfee is a response to that. When you give someone the ability to use your platform, but you're just renting him, you have no ownership over him. He's not your employee. He is somebody who's got his own business and you're borrowing it. What we are seeing happen, it's not just at Fox. You guys have seen what has happened to ESPN2, right? They're just taking podcasts and putting them on television because it's just cheaper programming. It's just easier to do. And what you're looking for there, Zaz, when I say lowest ratings in the history of FS1, it almost doesn't matter because it's the late night model. You just want viral clips. Like you don't care what you want to have daily ratings, obviously, but you'll take a daily ratings hit because you just want stuff to spread on the internet because we're not doing the measurements on this stuff the way we used to.
Which I think they're finding out. Their interview today with John Gruden's doing numbers. I think there'll be more of those because the show as it stands doesn't seem like it allows itself for plenty of viral moments. I cannot believe that Chris Cody thought this video was real.
Look.
Yeah, we have on screen what Chris thought was actually happening.
Hold on, take it again, guys.
Bill
Give the full
Belichick.
screen.
Yeah.
I don't know it's fake yet. Don't know it's fake yet. Don't know it's fake yet. This is about right here. I'm like, he couldn't have been doing this.
You should be embarrassed.
How about now?
This is where I was sure it was fake.
Those limp legs, man.
I'm embarrassed for you right now.
The first part is just, a little kiss before they go. All right, this is a bit much. They would never do this. They know this would go viral. All right, yeah, this is AI.
This is also during a time of the game. It seems like it's just pregame.
I think it's pregame.
Pregame milling about.
Peck. All right.
Incredible. Didn't know the camera was on him.
People were enjoying, though, again, even though it happened much more quietly than week one, losing at UCF 34-9 when you're just a small underdog in that game. And I was confused as to why it is they were a small underdog in that game. Losing 34-9 to UCF, I don't even know how it is that gets fixed this season. It's not something that can be fixed this season. They're going to be bad all season, and I haven't looked at their schedule, but they're not going to be even a bowl team, are they?
No. I don't think so. They entered that program with a lot of talk.
They have a get-right game, though, in 2 weeks. They got Clemson.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. And which afterwards we'll find out exactly how old Dabo is then and how much time and how expensive it would be to fire him.
You saw that on game day, people in Miami were wishing for Nick Saban to come back for the return of Nick Saban. Did you see this? I guess you didn't from the look on your face.
No, I did not. No. I mean, please.
It wasn't on TV. This was fans interacting with Saban while he was on one of the side sets, just screaming at him. We have the video here if you want to play. You can hear the fans interacting with him.
All right, let's play that.
Come back to the Dolphins. We forgive you. It's fine. You're good. We need your help. We need your help. You got this. One more.
He gave just the hand gesture of like, no, that's not happening.
He's got a fresh coat out there, and I'm not talking about the blazer.
How old is Nick Saban now? He's over 75 years old. He looks fresh and dapper and painted con chapapote in his commercials.
I guess 47, 48 based on, the hair. But
when did he get red hair?
Geographically, or not geographically, whatever it is, biologically, he says 73 years old.
Yeah, 2 years away from the Big Five.
Look at the grin on that face when he hears Miami.
Yes.
Miami forgives you. Miami forgives you, says a child not old enough to offer that forgiveness.
She doesn't speak for all of us.
My favorite part about that is how quickly he dismissed it. First off, someone in Miami had something good to say about him, so he drops his little pointer. And then, Tua's on this roster. Want a natty with him? Nah, no, don't even. No, thank you. Not at all something I ever want to consider doing again with my life.
I saw him recently interviewed where he calls Tua, and I just am so out on Tua right now that this angers me. One of his favorite players he ever coached. Like, when it was talking about, like, best.
Wow, that's high praise.
Like, who's the best players you've coached? He's like, Julio. He starts naming these, like, monsters, and it's like, and Tua. And I'm just like, oh, that's so infuriating. Yeah. He's bad. I hate Tua.
Tua's bad. One of the quarterbacks that he did some winning with helped Kyle Shanahan's doing that thing again. They're 3-0. They're super hurt. It looks like they've lost Bosa for an extended period of time. They're without Kittle. They have white position players everywhere. What? They have their backup quarterback. That backup quarterback is Mac Jones, who we know is not good.
He's also hurt.
Even while winning, though, death, taxes, and a Mac Jones safety.
Dude.
I wish I could bet on
Mac
that.
Jones was so injured in that game. That dude was limping the entire time, and he got super emotional. It was actually pretty cool to see because his career has not worked out the way that he thought it would. He was, if he's out, I don't even know who the third string is. He was legitimately limping painfully that entire game, and he cried when Pinheiro hit that winner.
It's a nice cheat code that the league has where you play 9 games at the same time, and you're almost guaranteed, given how that league is, even though you'll get your occasional Seahawks-Saints game or Vikings-Bengals game, if you play 9 games, your witching hour is going to have 3 or 4 games of crazy at the end. And it just sort of erased what I was saying earlier. Go ahead and name the games worth talking about from yesterday. Name them. Go ahead.
Bucks, Jets.
I think Niners-Cardinals is interesting to talk about because of where the Niners are. And they're going to do that thing where guys start coming back in December, and they're going to be a pain in the ass to eliminate.
Now, wait a minute. You can't make 49ers-Cardinals a game worth talking about if Jags-Texans isn't a game worth talking about.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do? And then judges.
It was a battle for the top of the NFC West, Dan. Both those teams were undefeated entering that game.
Rams-Eagles.
Yep.
I cannot believe Philly came back in that game, which is a weird thing to say about a reigning Super Bowl champion, but the way that they did it just impressed me even more.
Broncos-Chargers.
Do we talk about Bears-Cowboys? Nah. A bad injury to CeeDee Lamb. I guess you understand that. I guess it's encouraging for Chicago.
It's funny to hear you say, though, that a team that has won 19 of 20, that you're surprised by how they won, but I am too.
Super surprised.
It was 26-7, wasn't it?
I mean, that's exactly how you were supposed to beat the Philadelphia Eagles with a team that we all think is like, well, that's one of the teams that can maybe be a problem. They did all the things. I'm shocked.
Play that music again, please, because there were only 4 or 5 games we're talking about.
What you gonna do? And then judges you back games. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? And then judges you.
Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson.
Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson call of the day. Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson call of the day.
Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson call of the day.
Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson call of the day. Ray Hudson. 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 This is what Dan wanted. This is what Dan wanted. He wanted a call of the day. He wanted Ray Hudson call of the day. What? Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson call of the day. This is what Dan 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 wanted.
That song makes me want to dance specifically like Aaron Glenn on the sideline. There's there's something about that song that just feels like a blocked field goal that you think is going to win you the game, and that you're not going to engulfed by all the jet that engulfed Aaron Rodgers. Greg Cody.
So you don't want the call?
I mean, play the open again, maybe.
He's probably got to do it again.
Greg Cody.
More.
Yeah, I do need to hear it again.
Yeah.
Actually, I need to hear it one more time.
I don't want to do this.
If
Are we
that's
really
okay.
gonna-
Yeah, I need to hear it again, please. Thank you.
Ray Hudson.
Please, no.
Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson.
Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson call of the day. Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson call of the day.
Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson call of the day.
Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson call of the day. Ray Hudson. 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 This is what Dan wanted.
It is what I want.
Are we done?
Not until the World Cup.
This is what Dan wanted.
Every day until the World Cup, we're going to play Ray Hudson sounds.
Call of the day. You want it. Want it. Want it. Ray Hudson call of the day. What?
The reason I was mentioning Greg Cody is because he wanted to talk about Messi. Is the Ray Hudson call of the day, does it involve Messi or does it involve somebody else? Let's hear it.
Messi! Are you kidding me? A work of art! This man is absolutely mainline to pure footballing magic that belongs in a different galaxy altogether.
Look at smiling Greg Cody. The Greg Cody Show featuring Greg Cody. Do you talk about Messi this week? Because I know you always want to talk about Messi, and he was great again.
Actually, we did not, but I wish we had, because he just never ceases to amaze Messi. He first of all, he re-signs, which would have been huge news down here, except it was fully expected. But still, he re-signs for at least next season, World Cup season.
Still huge news.
Miami Freedom Park season.
Still,
yeah.
it is still surreal to see him in a uniform playing in our city. It's not normal to me yet.
No, in 3 years, I still have not gotten used to saying Inter Miami, Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi plays for Inter Miami. It's a mind blower and always will be. And then this guy, they played DC United, which is not a good side. I mean, I thought Miami would have no problem with that game, but they were behind 1-0, and Messi scores 2 goals. I was at the UM game, so I did not see them live, only on replay, but this guy just never ceases to amaze. He's 38 years old, and I'm not going to say he's still in his prime. He isn't.
Go on.
But he's fading in a way that LeBron James is. He's still so good that even if he's not in his prime, he's still a marvel, a physical marvel.
What do people need to know about the Greg Cody Show featuring Greg Cody, which we have not promoted enough today? What is on there? What is exciting? Why should people find the Greg Cody Show featuring Greg Cody today?
We have on Brad Williams, the official comic, official stand-up comedian.
He actually has
of the
beef
Greg
with
Cody
Dan
Show.
right now. He doesn't like how Dan's just using Brad. Anytime Dan wants to reference anything small, he just says Brad Williams, and Brad's noticed.
Yeah, which is funny. It's a funny quote. You got to go to it just for that. But he talks about being in the new Spinal
Can
Tap.
you just tell us what he says?
No, that way you wouldn't go to the podcast. What am I going to? I give you the menu.
I feel like Zaz isn't going to go either way.
I give you the menu. I don't feed you the dinner. I mean, you got to go there to get it. He talks about being in Spinal Tap. Talks about all kinds
Great
of
Elton
interesting
John
stuff.
stories. He
Great,
shot a
perfect.
scene with him.
Tells a crazy story about a massage
Tell us about
incident. I will invite you to go to the podcast.
Did you
and
know
listen
they
to
played
it.
hockey?
I've seen that photo of Brad Williams when he was little.
Yeah.
St. Elton John played
What do you mean when he was
When he was a
little?
little kid.
What do you mean when he was
Dan,
little?
see, yours.
Oh, da-da-da-da-da.
That was Dan, Brad.
We talked about it on the hockey show. You can listen to that interview.
Oh, look at
Some
this.
teases
Glomming
everywhere.
in on my tease.
Well, should I listen to the hockey show first or Greg's show first to get the full context of the story?
Well, you listen to Greg first because that was the most recent thing, and then you can come on over to the hockey show.
Oh.
There you go.
Don't forget, check out Zaslow Show 2.0, player.
Well, hold on. Is Brad on there? Is there any Brad stories on there?
On mine?
Yeah.
Whenever I want.
Also, Kane's Insight going to be live.
Yeah,
on Wednesday
Kane's
as
Insight.
well. A media company that I don't know if anyone wants to hear from me that listens to this show on the Miami Hurricanes. It seems as though the topics dry up a little bit when we're winning. But if you'd like to hear,
We haven't talked enough about Miami today for your
we,
liking.
honestly, we can do. Let's wrap up the show
You
and
must be
only
kidding.
talk about Ruben Bain.
You must be
I don't have
kidding.
a show, so nothing to promote.
Also, speaking of Miami, because Miami, you can listen to that every Friday.
Brad Williams sent me a text the other day asking, when people say that someone is at your beck and call, are they ever at just your beck? I don't even know what it is to be at your beck. I don't. When people say the phrase that someone is at your beck and call, what is beck? What is the beck?
No, that's not the root word of beckon. Beckon means to summon someone.
No, but it's at. I don't believe
It's
it's.
not beck and call. It's beck and call.
Right, BECKON.
Is that what you're saying?
I thought it was beck and call.
No.
I didn't think it was beck and call.
Yes, it is.
It's beckon, BECKON call. It's not beck and call.
It is
Correct.
Beck and call, but Beck is a shortened form of beckon.
Okay. hang
Didn't
on.
know that.
How about Greg Cody?
Wasn't aware of that, but you would not be at someone's beckon, right? Someone, you never hear that. It's a beck and call. I thought beck and call was redundant. I thought to call someone is to beckon them. I thought those two words mean the same thing.
You could argue it's redundant, but beckon means make a gesture with the hand, arm, or head to encourage someone to come nearer or follow.
I am beckoning you.
Come on in. I'm welcoming you.
Yes, beckon. I beckon you.
Don't do that to a vampire. Because they can stand outside and they're only allowed to come inside if you invite them.
Is that true?
But they'll try to trap
Like
you.
cops, they have to tell you if you say, "Are you a cop?"
Yeah.
Vampires are the same.
Vampires are like cops.
You have to invite them in
have
to
to
come
invite
suck
them
your
in.
blood.
Right.
And,
But if they have a warrant.
Vampires are cops.
They have to be
They're
invited.
like cops.
Yeah. This was covered in the classic film Lost Boys and then later in Sinners.
Right. Canes fans looking for a better game from Carson Beckon.
Good call.
Thank you.
Who fed you that?
Look how proud he is. He's prouder of the bad jokes than he is of the good ones.
I feel like you can hear in the way he talks when he's been fed a
Is
joke.
that right? First of all, I was not fed a joke. I don't want to praise or blame anyone for that. I'll take it all on my own shoulders.
Let's talk about the Rams for a second because they really impressed me in defeat. And I know that the way that we do these things is if the Colts don't get an offsides call at the end of the game against Denver, we would talk about them differently at 2-1 than we do at 3-0 because they would have lost the game. And generally speaking in that sport, there are so few games and they mean so much each game that when a team loses, we become bottom line about our assessments of them. But there's not a team that impressed me in losing more than the Rams did yesterday. And Dominique Foxworth is saying on his podcast that the Rams are the best team in the NFC. And he will get no argument from me because what they did to get ahead of Philadelphia, like I said, the biggest play in that game, I understand that people look at the blocked field goal at the end, but before that, the Rams could have ended the game by simply converting a 4th and 1, and it's just Philadelphia never gets stopped on that, and we underestimate how bad most quarterbacks are at that. Jalen Hurts, obviously very strong in the lower body. Same with Ruben Bain. Mike's beloved Ruben Bain is ridiculous how strong and explosive he is in the lower
Solid.
body. But I saw last week Caleb Williams did the quarterback sneak very poorly. 4th and short is still a situation that scares a bunch of offenses. And what you hear in Philadelphia when they know the tush push is coming, this is such a unique and interesting thing. What is happening around the tush push. A fan base that has won 19 of 20 games and has an unstoppable play is laughing as the nation gets bored with 12% of your plays last week were the tush push. Not this week, but last week. And that's obviously too much. But when they get the solution in these circumstances is always to tell the team, well, if you don't like our play, then don't allow us to get into 3rd and 4th and short. But they have a play that is annoying, is not fun to watch, and was the difference in that game yesterday because the Rams had 4th and 1 and got blown up. And the Eagles never lose yardage on short yardage situations. It happens to every other team in the league, but it never happens to Philadelphia. And their whole game plan is to make sure to get into 3rd and 4th and short situations.
When they have 3rd and long and the ball is spotted just short of the marker, the crowd cheers. They like it. They like knowing we're going to come out.
This is what's coming.
For the bullshit that makes everybody mad and is going to make us really happy.
But how cool is that to have as a fan base that you know that your team, in football specifically, where you have to be stronger than everybody, that your team has a play that everyone else hates, and also it's something that can't be stopped because it's just so physical. That stadium has something that they love that everyone else in the world hates.
Yeah, Eagles fans should be embarrassed by the tush push. They really should. It's a play that should have been made illegal. Every time I see it, I think, really? It's cheating. It's cheating. I don't care who does it.
It's not why I watch football. I'd watch rugby. If I wanted to see that, I'd watch rugby.
Yes.
So Miami did a lot of that against Florida.
They did.
And I don't love it, but I love it slightly more when it's my school.
But why is it cheating? I don't like it either, but why is it cheating?
Because you're pushing somebody. Let them do it on their own. Let their blockers block for them and let them run. Don't get behind them and push them over the line.
Football's notoriously unphysical. So.
I think
There's
it's literally cheating.
A lot of pushing in football, though, you'd argue.
Not in that way.
They're constantly pushing each other.
Not in that way.
Well, what about like that play where then it ended up not being called a touchdown? That there was still movement, and then they said dead ball.
That was a patently bad call.
Okay, but what's the difference between
5 times.
the pushing there and pushing for 1 yard?
Why do you have to watch 5 times? You couldn't tell after the first?
I could, and I enjoyed the malfeasance of it so much I had to keep watching it. It was ridiculous.
The Marty Brown one was weird because it wasn't like the other plays in the game where they would get dragged by. He just never stopped moving. He was running into his own guys, was never touched by a Florida guy, and squirted out.
It was weird. Can I play for you guys something here? I want to get your thoughts on this. I don't know what the context is on this, how fast this person is moving, but whenever I see this anywhere in South Florida, people running with a baby stroller and a baby in it, it's something I look at and say that seems like it could go wrong in a lot of different ways. And somebody has set a new baby stroller mile world record by running a mile in 4 minutes and 26 seconds.
And that's not a doll. Like, if there's a doll in there, I am fine with all of this. And I don't want to be the guy that's like
I don't like it.
offended by everything.
either.
But
No, I
this
don't
is
like it.
it makes me nervous.
Yeah, I don't like it.
There's a man running at a very high rate of speed with a baby. And I know that it's one of those strollers. It's made for this running. So, like, I know it's going to probably end up safe, but I don't like this.
Yeah, I was going to say, does it matter that it's a 3-wheeler instead of a 4?
Well, I think it's designed to be, like, run with. But still, it's just this. I didn't like it. That's what I thought about this. I saw it. I said, I don't like this.
It's a danger to babies everywhere. We can agree that running that fast in a stroller with a baby seems, and baby skulls are small or soft. We've got to be more careful with these things. But we do sound like a bunch of people that are going to outrage the baby stroller running community with our softness in general.
On the record, F them. Shouldn't be running with a baby. F you, baby runners. Running on a track. 4 miles or a mile in 4 minutes, what does that end up being? That they're running like 18 miles an hour or something.
It's ridiculous.
That's way too fast to be driving with a baby.
Yeah, it should be against the law, in my opinion.
And I don't. Once again,
that's right.
Like maybe you put some sort of protection on the baby just in case that there is some sort of because the baby wasn't wearing like a helmet. There was, I don't know, like it just more steps should have been taken for safety.
There's an unnamed woman in my neighborhood who jogs pushing a stroller.
What's her name?
I'll tell you off the air.
Which is actually more dangerous because there's cars around her, where this guy was clearly on a safe track with no cars around.
Well, she is on a sidewalk, but nevertheless, and she's not running at the speed that guy was.
15 miles per hour is what it ends up being. That's a speeding ticket in a school zone.
Yeah, absolutely. And she's doing a steady jog with the stroller in front of her. And, what if she hits a crack in the sidewalk? All of a sudden, they both go, head over tea kettle or whatever the hell that expression is.
For frame of reference, how many miles per hour was this runner?
15, roughly.
So Jordan Davis was clocked at 18.59 miles per hour. It's the fastest speed a 300-pounder has ever reached as a ball carrier since they started measuring these things in 2017 per Next Gen Stats.
It's also not impressive to be running with strollers that are designed for that. Ball bearings, that thing just glides. It's not a physical accomplishment pushing a stroller.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything. You could probably push it with one finger and that thing would go downhill like that.
Ridiculous.
Can you guys look up for me, please, whether in that competition it actually has to be a baby and can't be a doll that weighs the same amount as a baby? And Greg, what is the head over tea kettle is not the expression. What were you going for there?
It's something over tea kettle.
Okay, thank
Look
you.
it up.
Why are you looking at me?
Okay, I'll look it up
Look
instead
it up.
of you. Okay, very good. Thank
Yeah.
you for putting the work
All
on
right,
me.
I'll look it up then.
Before we get to weekend observations with Amin El Hassan, Chris Cody, can you tell me what we're doing with weekend observations next week to sexy it up a little bit?
We're doing the same thing we did last year, which is our weekend observations predictions pool. If you would like to win a trip for two to come hang out with us in studio and be at our next Miller Lite watch party, which I believe is going to be at a Flanagan's. It's going to be in October, and it's going to be super fun. You win a trip for two down here to be in our studio to come to this watch party. And if you want to know how to do it, you make your picks, you win it all. Go to DraftKings.com/pools for detail. That's DraftKings.com/pools for details to sign up, how to win a trip for two down here with us in our studio and our watch party, all thanks to Miller Lite.
Greg, according to Merriam-Webster, it's ass over tea kettle.
What are you celebrating?
It's a family show.
Not what
He's
you
not going to
said.
say that.
What did I say? Rear
You
or
said head over
You said head.
Oh, okay. Well, I had the
Wrong
wrong
part of
end.
the body,
I had the wrong end of the donkey. The theory was the same.
Let's do weekend observations now that Amin is here, and quit wasting Amin's valuable time, please.
It is time for
to
share his game notes. No one in the media will tell you what happened better than my boy.
Weekend Observations is presented by Miller Lite. Then it felt like it was standard procedure. It felt like it was business as usual. You line up, you hike the ball, you kick the ball. What's so hard about that? But yesterday, just like that, make no mistake, blocking field goals is back.
Yes.
Jordan Davis can scoot.
It's crazy.
He followed the block field goal with a 61-yard touchdown return. I heard Mike just mention it clocked in at almost 19 miles an hour. I hope they had the oxygen tank ready for him. Travis Kelce and Andy Reid getting into a tiff on the sidelines. I know this playbook all too well. This is how you preempt the eventual breakup.
Really?
You just plant little arguments here and there. They wasn't a necessary argument. You're winning the game, but let's do it. Let's get everyone going a little bit, just so that when it happens, we're like, oh yeah, I remember when they fought on the sideline against the Giants in Week 3.
Historically, it's an indicator for them making the Super Bowl.
Maybe not this time. Georgia Tech, Miami, ACC title game, collision course.
Mike says he's
How
not
does
worried.
that-
Mike says he's not worried about that one. He says he's not worried, and he should be.
No, he hasn't been worried the last 2 years.
It's not at Bobby Dodd at noon. I'm okay.
Well, 2 years ago, it wasn't at Bobby Dodd. I believe it was in South Florida.
He didn't fumble.
I have to check my records.
Okay, keep expecting that Miami team to show up.
All right. I just hope that you guys have an opportunity to kneel to win the game.
Oh, we will.
Okay. Will you kneel?
That trash talk really petered out between you two. I thought there was going to be something there, but it was just
There
empty.
was.
I hope you have the opportunity. I hope
Trying
you
to
have
keep
the.
it moving. Trying to keep it moving. His time is precious.
It's valuable, apparently. Yeah. What's the clock at, by the way? How does Zaslow look at himself in the mirror after that game? Embarrassing. I'm talking about physically. How do you look at yourself in the mirror?
Oh,
Not- I
no.
don't care
What
what
is he
happens.
What should I be embarrassed about?
I don't know. You look like you drink soda.
He didn't go to Florida. He went to Santa Fe.
And when he looks in the
Good
mirror, he sees
point.
Bryant McKinney.
Russell Wilson reminds me of the viral Decent Man song in that I hate him and I never want to see him again. Daniel Jones leading the best offensive output through 3 games in Colts history.
It's crazy.
Rumors of his demise were greatly exaggerated. McCorkle Jones completing 27 of 41 passes for 284 yards and the win. Rumors of his demise were greatly exaggerated. Comedy comes in threes. I wish there was someone named Jones who had a good game on Sunday. There wasn't. Jackson Dart, we're ready for you. Haynes King, showing he can do it with his arm. Don't look at the stats. Just trust me on this. He did it with his arm. Greg Cody, stay strong. There's a silver lining somewhere in that storm cloud called the Dolphins. I'm sure you'll find it.
Thank you.
Why do HVAC companies all have USA flags on their trucks? Like shrink wrapped on it or on a bumper sticker or flying over or whatever. Is anyone
question.
hiring an HVAC company because of their patriotism?
Put it on the poll.
Is anyone not? Sorry.
Put
Is
it on-
anyone not hiring an HVAC company because of the lack of patriotism?
Put it on the poll. Put both of them on the poll, Juju, at Le Batard Show. Is anyone hiring an HVAC company because of their patriotism? Is anyone not hiring an HVAC company because of their lack of patriotism?
Like, my AC's out, but this guy, I don't know if you love America. I'll wait the 10 days for the other guy. Asia Wilson, 4-time MVP, GOAT. Cal Raleigh hit his 58th home run this weekend. If Kyle Raleigh came up to me and punched me in the throat, and the cop showed up and asked me who punched me in the throat, I would say nothing. Because I got punched in the throat. I can't breathe. Caitlin Clark being fined $200 for disparaging the officiating via social media is the equivalent of LeBron James being fined $135,000. Double standard. After I get my win back, after getting punched in the throat by Kyle Raleigh, when asked by the cops who punched me in the throat, I would still say nothing because I ain't no snitch. I really don't think Donald Trump knows how adjectives work. Assuming I was a snitch who got punched in the throat by Cal Raleigh, when asked by the cops who punched me in the throat and shown a lineup of all possible culprits, I would say I don't know because I have no idea who Cal Raleigh is.
There it is.
Yeah. Top 5 things to do while being ignored. OLI. Be Cal Raleigh. Number 5. Rob a bank. Number 4. Cheat on your significant other. Number 3. Subvert democracy. Number 2. Weekend observations. And the number 1 thing to do while being ignored, take a nap. Will we go to trial for how I got punched in the throat by Cal Raleigh? And the DA reads back my original statement to the police about how I don't know who Cal Raleigh is? And I say that's correct? And then they pull up a transcript of weekend observations from August 27, 2025 and read verbatim how I called Cal Raleigh historic, iconic, and legendary? I would just say I don't recall. Which is how Aspiration co-founder Andre Cherney responded to Pablo Torre's revelation about the Aspiration Investment Committee, which okayed Kawhi's no-show job. That I don't remember.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
That is how you do it.
Damon Dash has all the moral values of a 15-year-old. Pat Beverly and Trey Young arguing is like my microwave and my toaster having an argument. Who the hell cares? Speaking of hell, Art Briles. Those are the weekend observations.
I mean, that'd be cause for concern. That's brave little toaster territory. Appliances talking to one another. I mean, that's national news, perhaps international.
They're not top line, man. The toaster, the mic. Come on, man. Yeah, fridge, oven, stove top. If you're one of those fancy people,
that's a
got to separate.
poltergeist. That's a poltergeist. Then at that point, you have a poltergeist.
Wait, though, if you're trying to rank, if we were ranking kitchen stuff, the microwave would be pretty hugely important. I think I'd put. What do you mean, no?
Although, has the air fryer kind of mitigated the importance?
It has thunder.
You're living in the early 2000s there with microwave.
The air fryer is good, except there are times, Chris, and I know this might be hard for you to understand. You don't want things fried.
Burn. Just anything heated up is better in the air fryer.
It's like putting it in an oven. We are so lucky to live in a time where such an advancement to kitchen appliances.
Thank you, air fryer.
It happened just like, we were the same generation that got an iPhone. Like, we are pretty lucky in some respects.
You're saying the microwave is not a Hall of Famer in terms of kitchen stuff? Because
it's a Hall of Famer in the same way that Dolph Schultz was a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you did it back then, but in today's game, you have no place.
Does the air fryer make toast? Because
Of course. It does bagels. It reheats pizza.
It does.
Like,
It
it's
takes
an
forever.
oven. It's
The
just
air
a mini
fryer
oven.
takes forever.
That's the only negative.
Yeah.
It does take a little bit longer.
But it's faster than a regular oven.
If I'm making chicken wings, it takes me a half hour.
Half
in the
hour?
air
What do
fryer.
you put in at 75
Is
degrees?
it plugged in?
What do you got? You put
Yes,
it at like
it's-
350. It costs you like 8 minutes.
All right.
Worth it.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
I mean, the big thing is you're not using oil. It's healthier.
Right. And cheaper.
Sometimes you use oil.
The air is your oil.
Oil is very
You don't want it to
expensive, by the
stick
way.
to the
Are you
aluminum
guys
foil.
alleging the toaster is now obsolete?
Obsolete.
We haven't even mentioned the toaster.
Haven't mentioned the toaster.
No, he said didn't he say the microwave was arguing with the toaster?
I'll tell you, the microwave toaster. Throw that away.
That was a good combo.
If you have a microwave toaster, useless.
If you want to have a conversation in the kitchen between two sad items, the toaster is commiserating with the waffle iron. Those two things, they're down in the in the bottom shelf where nobody ever looks. They're going, "Hey man, we used to matter in this room."
But the waffle
What
iron,
happened?"
the waffle iron will always have its place, though. If I'm in the mood for waffles, I'm going there.
I use all of these. I use all of this.
You
in my
use a
house.
waffle iron?
Yeah, we have that waffle maker deal in
You
our
make
house.
waffles?
Yeah, we do.
What?
What's the matter with you?
I mean, that is like first ballot wedding
He's going
registry
box
mistake.
waffle.
Well, why did I ask for
I know.
this? What did I think I was going to be?
That box mix.
I use the waffle maker. We use a microwave. We also have air fryer and toaster. I got whatever I want.
You use a refrigerator?
Yes.
Really?
How about a fondue pot? You got one
no,
of those?
No, we don't have that. No.
Okay.
You got a freezer?
Yeah, I got a freezer.
Do you
What's
call
the
it
matter with you?
You call it an ice box?
No, call it a freezer.
Yeah, I don't know anybody that does that.
You got a sink?
Yeah, I got a sink.
Nice.
You got a junk drawer in your kitchen?
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you got in there?
Batteries.
Yeah.
Headphones.
Headphones.
Yeah.
Wires, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of wires.
Pens,
Really?
Paper clips.
I think you guys are blaspheming against the microwave.
pins.
I don't think you're giving the microwave what I mean is entrenched on this.
Popcorn.
Yeah, where else are you making that?
All
popcorn?
microwaves have right now is popcorn.
That's it. Take away
I'm gonna tell you
popcorn.
right now. The microwave is watching the game right now and talking about back in my day we would have done it this way and that way. No, you wouldn't. You would have been lost out here in today's game with these athletes, these super athletes, these air fryers coming in. And by the way, air fryer, look over your shoulder. The hydration oven comes soon.
How do I
Right?
heat up
Like
like
Back to the
spaghetti? How do
Future?
I heat up spaghetti out of the fridge? Microwave. It's the only way.
Air
It's the
fryer.
only thing it has going on, and you can do it in the air fryer. Mm-hmm. You can. Just put
Does
a
it
little-
better?
Just do a little olive oil in there so it doesn't get too dry. I'm telling you, microwave's got to be looking around like, man, am I next?
You guys are saying, and I don't use the air fryer enough to do this to know the answer to my question.
That's obvious by listening.
You
to
guys are saying that the microwave is only useful at this point for popcorn and nothing else. That the air fryer
I'm trying
can
to think
do
of
everything else.
Yes, the air fryer can do. Popcorn is the only thing I can think of that's like that has to go in the
A little
microwave.
instant oatmeal, I guess it still has a purpose. A little instant mac and cheese. For the little ones, you need a microwave. But
I
I'm
can't
telling
air
you,
fry my daughter's milk.
if it comes in a plastic, like a little carton, a styrofoam carton, all right,
Yeah,
fine.
you're right.
You still have a purpose, but air fryer is totally won over the game.
I'll reheat stuff in the micro.
You guys sound like people in 2010 trying to tell me, but I need the physical keyboard. Like, what are you talking about? What are we doing here? We're caping for this relic of the past? It's literally from the 50s. It might as well come with like one of those atom drawings with the electrons flying all over it.
The microwave is from the 50s. I would have thought it's more recent than
What
that.
a development.
It is.
The microwave is
The cars are from the 1880s.
I thought it was from the
use them.
70s, the microwave.
The
no?
microwave is 75 years old. That stuns me.
That can't be.
I don't believe.
1945 by Percy Spencer.
That was a good man right there.
I am.
He has to have had cancer, right?
Stunned. Put it on the poll, Juju at LeBatard Show. Does the
Stage 6.
is it is it guaranteed that the inventor of the microwave had stage 6 cancer? Died of stage.
Do we need the stage?
Well,
Yeah.
you know what?
Yes.
Giggled at the stage, but it's surely the trial and error of 1945 microwaves would be something that would be imperfect enough that for sure that guy fried his face.
There is no
accidentally.
current cancer right now on Earth that matches the first cancer that came out of that first microwave.
The first
That shit
microwave was refrigerator sized, weighed over 750 pounds, and cost $5,000 at that time.
He died of a heart
You ever
attack. There's
ever
no
watched
information
Incredible Hulk?
suggesting.
Poor Percy.
Remember, like the gamma rays hitting Bruce Banner? Like that's exactly what happened. They turned that thing on. They probably tried to make popcorn, like you
There you go.
jackasses.
It's so
Next thing you know,
it's so
Stage 6.
inefficient. You're just throwing some corn kernels in something the size of a fridge, and you're sending all of the world's radiation at it to make a single piece of popcorn. It seems inefficient. How much did it weigh? How much would? Give me more details.
750 pounds. It cost $5,000, which at that time is
Oh my
a ton
God!
of money.
Yes, for popcorn. Yeah. How many different things were you using it for in 1945?
Now I'm seeing the first popular home countertop model was released in '67 for $495.
That's more like it.
Still, 67 is earlier than I would have thought. Put it on the poll as well, Juju, at Le Batard Show. Would you have guessed that the microwave had been invented in 1945? Yes or no?
I have a question that's out of left field, but how does Tyler Hero injured and having surgery? I mean, last week we were talking about him.
know.
We were talking about him as potentially the worst defender in the league. No one mentioned that, hey, yeah, but he's got this thing that he's dealing with. Where did this come from?
Ankle. They announced it a couple of weeks ago.
Like he injured himself like working out in the offseason?
I got the impression it was like a lingering thing that they're finally having surgery
that's
on.
infuriating.
That's
then.
bad timing.
Why do they do that then? He's going to be out 2 months.
That can't be right. That can't be right. What Greg is saying, that there is that they would wait that long for something that could have been done 2 months ago.
Well, him and
Well, I
Kachuk
think-
are both going to be out the same amount of time.
Yeah, but Kachuk
No, but
is
Kachuk, it's strategic.
Yeah, it's a strategic thing to
Right.
take advantage of the league's salary cap rules. But Tyler Hero is hugely important. What's going on here? I mean,
He should have jumped
Yeah,
in
I
the
think-
pool. He could have come back later if you're Kachuk, right?
You were saying, Amin?
The policy usually is to try to see if you can rehab without a surgical option. That's the number one option. It's like, do we have to have surgery? And so you try to rehab and see how it goes. This thing for him happened, I think, in the middle of the summer, and apparently the rehab wasn't working, and so they went to the surgical option.
Did you enjoy watching Belichick lose this weekend? Is it something that you're still paying attention to, or is it something you've moved on from?
Dan, it was so uneventful. It was in my weekend observations, and I took it out. I had a joke about, like, oh, the season is still young, just like Belichick likes it. But I'm like, no, irrelevant. You don't even get the throwaway, low-hanging fruit joke, Bill Belichick. Come back when you mean something.
Did you see the kiss on the sideline between Belichick and his girl?
I wasn't paying attention. I told you.
Yeah, it was pretty
It
inappropriate.
was amazing.
It definitely was
Was it?
not. It was
Can't
definitely
believe he
not
did that.
AI. Definitely not
Let's-
AI.
You guys want to show it to Amin? Can Amin see it
Amazing
right now?
or
Do you-
inappropriate?
It was something that I think you don't normally see on a sideline. John Gruden on the poorly rated FS1 Wake Up with Barstool show complained about Mike Lombardi and Bill Belichick.
Here you go, Amin.
Here you go, Amin.
This is before the game.
It was stunning to see this before the
this
game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Incredible. What was he thinking?
Wait, that's not Bill Belichick.
It sure looks
As soon
like
as he
him.
picked her up, the red flag was him picking her up.
That's when it threw you off. He picked her up.
You know,
Oh, he's back out doing that.
You were surprised by the man's strength. Good talking to you, Amin. See you later.
All right, Cinephobe movie this week is a Kevin James movie that I don't even remember the name. It's terrible. It's something about him being an assassin.
You don't remember the name of it?
The movie has a very long title. It's something. He's a writer, but in his books, he writes himself as an assassin character, and then people think that the book is real, so they hire him to be an assassin, but he's really just Kevin James, a fat guy.
True story?
Based on a true story, yeah.
See you later,
like that Sean Payton movie.
All right, let's bring Juju aboard here. Juju, how you doing?
All right, man. How y'all doing, man?
Good.
Like you had a great time this weekend at that UM tailgate, brother.
Oh man, come on now. We had the booze flowing, we had the food, we had Florida Panthers. You were jealous.
Yes, sir. And my boy Zaz had the hat to the front. I ain't never seen my boy with the hat to the front.
You know, I gotta be at my professional best, you know, when I'm there for ESPN. What are you laughing at over there, Chuckles?
That's hilarious. Professional best. Interviewing Paul Maurice wearing a Panthers shirt.
That's right.
Of course, because you're a professional. You're a journalist.
Well, when I'm over there doing my ESPN shtick, I got to be very professional. That's what that was on Saturday.
There you go. Okay.
Over here, I could be me. This is my authentic self, Juju.
Yes, sir. And it's beautiful. I love it.
What stood out to you yesterday with the NFL?
Man, I gotta tell Dan, brother, stop it. I care about you when it comes to the Chiefs, man.
He's doing the thing.
We keep saying that their offense it's not the same anymore. I got 4 words for Dan. Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy. Like, that's gonna make things so different, bro. Like, the fact that they got the win last night, you know what I mean? It was boring, of course, but dare I say, take 2 of the top weapons away from any quarterback. They're gonna look kind of lackluster as well.
The Chiefs next week have the Ravens. Rashee Rice is still out for another 3 games.
Comes back week 6 or through week 6? I know it's something like that.
I think it's
6 games.
Yeah, 6 games.
Yeah.
So another few games he's still out, and maybe Worthy comes back next week, maybe not. They got the Ravens next week. I mean, Juju, like, the Chiefs dropped to 1-3. You may need a little more than returning Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy.
I'm pretty sure come the playoff time, as long as they get the wild card, as long as they get in there somehow, look, my Josh Allen and my Bills, we would hate to see them in a wild card spot. Just let me say that right there. I don't want to see them in the playoffs. So I don't care what their record is. You got to have faith in Patrick Mahomes
That's
and them
such
boys.
a good point because he's a Bills fan. Bills fans must be just, please, Chiefs, have an off year. Like, if I'm a Bills fan right now, I am just praying for the Chiefs. Just get out of my life for 1 year.
Well, look, the Chiefs, they have the Ravens at home next week. Then they're at the Jaguars. But then they have the Lions after that. I mean, Chiefs could be staring at, what are we talking here, 2-4 by the time Rashee Rice gets back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm still afraid of them, no matter what.
Juju Asia Wilson got her WNBA record, 4th MVP award. Was that a surprise at all? Like, wasn't Afisa Collier like a big contender as well?
Yeah, I feel like for most of the years, it was Nafisa's to win and lose. And then the Aces strung 17 wins together. And you can't sneeze at that. And within those 17 wins, they handily beat the Aces. And Asia just looked like Asia. So I think that she snatched it from Nafisa this year, deserving to win it. Bam brought out the award yesterday. It was a lovely day. But I saw something crazy as hell in that ceremony in that room. The owner of the Raiders, Mark Davis, had on a pink wig to celebrate Asia Wilson, dog. Oh my goodness.
And that's her dad.
Right.
Because apparently all the Ace staff as well were all in pink wigs. But Mark Davis partaking in this was a delight.
Juju, does this anoint Asia Wilson as the best WNBA player ever? Would you say that or no?
Ooh, I think it does.
Really?
I hadn't heard that sentence until now, and I actually think it does because 4 MVPs is bananas. You got to give it to her.
Better than Maya Moore.
Uh-oh. Don't quote me on that. Maya Moore still the GOAT. Yeah, she left basketball for a humanitarian reason, got her man out of jail. So, yeah, I'll leave that to Maya Moore. Close second, Asia Wilson.
All right. Juju, you got some jokers of the weekend for us?
Oh, yeah, man. Oh my goodness, man. Arch Manning, you know I love you. You know we love your dad and his podcast. Go listen to it right now. But Arch, you playing Sam Houston, man. You can't flex up on the Sam Houston guy after you scored a touchdown. Come on, man. Look at this.
That's a bad look.
That's a good point.
What was the score in the game at this time?
A lot to not a lot.
Oh, no. It's not good.
Right. That was horrible. Do it against Bama, as my boy say. And also another one, number 47 from the Rams during that epic block kick at the end of the game, which swung the hearts of America one way or the other after the game. Look at number 47 right here. He's supposed to be blocking Jordan Davis, I think. I'm not sure what he's doing, but he is looking out of sorts, out of place. Video team, if you got that picture of my brother, look at 47.
What is happening?
What are you doing?
He's like, I got. Who's next?
Right.
Oh, man.
Boom roasted, and now who's next? Right. Come on, brother. You can't let that snapshot be on the exact game winning or losing play if that's you.
Juju, what do we need? Where are we right now with the WNBA playoffs? What's going on?
Bruh, the Indiana Fever are stunning the world right now. They went into Las Vegas on Asia's Day and got the game 1 victory against the Vegas Aces. They eliminated my Atlanta Dream last week, and it hurts so bad. Like, being there was the saddest day ever. But now they are actual contenders. They showed the Aces yesterday, hey, we're not just here to be here. We here to take it. Caitlin got the Air Force Ones, the black Air Force Ones on. I mean, they looking good. I don't think they're going to be able to do it completely, but at the same time, expectations are here and they are here. You feel me? So salute to them, as well as the Mercury went into Minnesota yesterday and caught the L. Minnesota be like I say, bro, they like the Golden State Warriors back in the day. No fourth quarter lead is safe against the Lynx. No matter what, you better not let up at all because they will take the game from you. And
this
they did
is
again.
This is best of 5 now, right?
Yes, sir. Best of 5. First round was best of 3. Second round, best of 5. Championship series, best of 7.
Juju, you got some polls for us? What do we got?
Yes, sir. First poll. Has Tulsa ever at one time been good at football? Hold on. I just lost my place. 30% of the audience say yes. 70% of the audience said no, they have never been. Yeah, damn.
That sounds right.
Can you run down the hill the way Dabo does and lose?
No.
77% of the audience says no, you can't.
No, everybody knows that.
Is anyone hiring an HVAC company because of their patriotism? 70% of the audience says no, they are not. Is anyone not hiring an HVAC company because of their patriotism? 57% of the audience says no, they are not.
I'm surprised. Yeah.
Did the creator of the first microwave for sure die of stage 6 cancer? 86% of the audience says yes, and those are your polls.
Good job, Juju.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys.